Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another day of the Rugby World Cup. We've got three exciting contests back to back, including this first game between the Springboks and Romania. Now, we already know that Ireland are sitting top of the bunch. They are on 10 points in Pool B. The big question mark is now, how many points will the Springboks be on, mainly for that points differential as they head towards their monumental fixture next weekend. But just before this match, we are of course going to be looking through at the lineups alongside all of the stats to do with the Rugby World Cup so far throughout the competition, previous fixtures for these two sides, and all the things you need to know heading into this exciting game. But like I mentioned, there are three games today. That is of course the first, the second of which will be Fiji taking on Australia. Now that is a must-win game for the Fijians in Pool C, trying to break the momentum of Eddie Jones's Wallabies after they were able to pick up their first win. And then the last game, it is England versus Japan, two sides undefeated at this stage of the Rugby World Cup. Someone is going to continue that winning streak throughout the competition. In the chat we have got there the bot from Bystander. How long until the start? I'm at work, says LB. We've got about an hour and 5 minutes or so before the kickoff. We had to start a little bit earlier on this one because we've got a lot to talk about, not just with this contest, but also with all the games that are coming up next week, including that monumental one, Ireland versus the Springbok. Go, bot, go, says it was Isaac. And also we are waiting for Australia versus Fiji, says LB. Yep, it's going to be an absolutely massive game. We are starting 30 minutes before that game to summarise everything that has happened for those two sides. Of course, there is plenty to talk about when it comes to Fiji's journey towards that game. I'm in. Hello, Hamish, says Jane. Welcome in and let us go. Or let's go, Bok, says De Killer. And there in Springbok, says Elvin. And Thor Day today, says Ocker. Good on you, Hamish. Should be home from the for the start, says Brian there. So, yeah, we've still got a little bit of time before the kickoff. But first of all, we will be looking through at the Springboks lineup. Now, it was something that was announced for the Springbok side that a lot of people were a little bit confused about in terms of how they were going to be able to use four halfbacks in one individual lineup. But I'm looking forward to seeing how it works for the Boks here and whether or not that is a tactic that they will use going forward. But the front row, Oxnard at number 1, Bongio Manumbi at number 2, and Vincent Koch at 3. Now, we didn't see Vincent Koch in the first game of the Rugby World Cup in the Scottish game. Oxnard, we did get to see him coming off the bench. Umbanumbi the same. But at this stage, I think the big breaking news of the week was definitely that Malcolm Marx has suffered an injury. He will be out for the World Cup. And at the moment, Andre Pollard seems to be the player getting the nod to make his way back in. For the Springboks, Jean Klein at number 4 and Marvin Ori as the 5. So a nice combination there that they have used before throughout 2023. And we'll be hoping to have just as much success when they go together. For this match, Mako van starting at 6, that is rather than Sia Khaleesi. Number 7, Huacha Smith, unlike Peter Stiftatoy last week, and then Dwayne Vermeulen at number 8. Probably a bit of a surprise for some people to see him in the starting lineup, seeing as a lot of anticipated he'd come into the match up against Ireland, and that would be his first start of the World Cup, but they are giving Jesper Wiese the chance off the bench, Dwayne Vermeulen in the starting side, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Thor can do in this game. Kivas Reinach and Damian Belimza going to be the 19 combination. Now, I may have to get a few Springbok supporters to help me out here. Is this the first time that we have seen those two in a starting lineup combined? I know that Kivas Reinach has probably started at 9 when Belimza's been at 15, but in terms of Belimza starting at fly half for the Springboks, Reinach at 9, I don't think that's happened too often, maybe once, if that. So hopefully they do have good chemistry there. Andre Esterhuizen and Keenan Moody in the midfield. That is going to be absolutely fantastic seeing those two men working as one. They did brilliantly in the game up against the All Blacks. Keenan Moody, he's the player who I've picked to get a hat-trick in this game, and I am hoping I will be correct. Makazole Mapimpi out on the left wing. Grant Williams out on the right. Now, worst comes to worst. If Reinach does end up with an injury and they don't want to use one of the two halfbacks that they've got off the bench, they can use Grant Williams as another option there. And Willie LaRue experience at the back. Also has a very solid territory kicking game, which the Boks will look to use to their advantage throughout this game up against the Romanians. Looking at the chat, we have got, hi Hamish, you look very smart in your suit. Looking forward to your great commentary. Hope the Springboks get a bonus point. Cheers from Durban, says Brian. And it's been confirmed Pollard will be part of the team but will not play against Ireland, says George there. And it's going to be interesting to see how quickly he can take back to the Springbok side because he has been out for quite some time, and whether or not they had a plan of initially using him, whether they were hoping deep down that someone was going to end up injured in the squad, probably not Malcolm Marx. I'm sure that they would have preferred it to just be like a hamstring or something, a little twinge that meant that Handré Pollard could come back in if he was match fit. But now they've got an extra option that they have to try and find a way of incorporating, because a lot of people will say straight away, get rid of Mani Lebok, put Pollard in, but I don't think it's as easy as that. I think that Handré Pollard, you may have to wait a little bit longer, bide his time before he gets into that starting side once more. Good on you, Amish. Should be home for the start, says Brian. And also we have got there go the Aussie, says Stewart, and go Bok, says Goldberg. And I guess I'm going to miss the first half, says LB. And Etzebeth should be available for Ireland, says LB. That is also the news that I have heard. Eben Etzebeth, whether or not they decide to risk him in that game if he is just coming back from injury, I assume that if he is available, they'll use him though, and just hope that it doesn't refire up that injury, or else he could be out for the rest of the World Cup. I want all 4 scrum halves on the pitch at the same time, says Grant. I can see us getting 3. I'm not sure about 4 though. I feel like there'd have to be a couple injuries for the Springboks for them to get the 4th one out there, because I can see Faf de Klerk maybe coming into fly half, and they do need him off the bench. I don't know whereabouts you put Jaden Hendrickse to get the 4th one on though. I feel like maybe if there was an injury out on the other wing, you put Reinach out on the wing and then have Hendrickse in the middle, something along those lines. We have got the South Africa, just more on Romania than Ireland. I think Japan beat England, says Shay. Yeah, it's one of those games that I think this game is pretty set in stone in terms of who's going to be walking away with the victory. And I know that sounds like I'm discrediting Romania, but at the moment, looking at the way that the Springboks are playing, looking at the way that Romania have been playing in their rankings, the difference between them, I believe that those next 2 games tonight are the ones that could have the upset somewhere along the lines. Please no more injuries to either team, says Suckerbulla. And how many injuries do you expect in this game for the Boks? Maximum 1, minimum none. I'm hoping for none though, because at this stage of the competition, the last thing you want to be doing is trying to work out how to fill gaps that you already felt were set in stone, like whether or not, for an example here, Dwayne Vermeulen, if he ends up with an injury in this game, of course, they now have Jesper Wiese, who's in decent form, so he could be an option that does take straight over from Dwayne Vermeulen, but then it's who's going next. Who's the next guy in line for number 8? Do you bring in Ivan Ruiz, or do you go with someone who's already in the side? It just gets to be a big headache for coaches, so I'm hoping there's no injuries. What time is kickoff, says Patrick? It is in 1 hour's time. It's still a little way away, but normally what we've found out from these live streams is when we do end up doing a little bit of build up to the match, it seems like the time just flies by and all of a sudden we are at kickoff. And go the Boks, says Brian. And also I can see Japan beating England. And yeah, I think Fiji beating Australia also a very high likeliness for this round of the Rugby World Cup. I'm hoping to see one upset, mainly because we haven't had an upset yet in the Rugby World Cup, unless at a stretch you could say France beating New Zealand, because they came in as very, very marginal underdogs. I think that was the same with England, but like a big upset, one that a team's about maybe 4 times the amount of the other side in terms of those betting odds, and they go out there and they put on a great performance. The thing for the Boks, to top the ball, Ireland have not got a bonus point against Scotland, or have to not get a bonus point against Scotland. I have a feeling they'll get it, says LB. Although, the big thing is whoever wins that game next week will top the pool. Because if South Africa beat Ireland in that case, they will have the more points anyway. So we've got to remember that game next week, unless it's a draw, and then it comes down to those points that they have received throughout the rest of the stages. Whoever wins that game next week, whether it's the Springboks, the defending world champions, or whether it is Ireland, who are currently on a 15-match winning streak, it will soon be answered, and it's going to be an absolutely awesome game. When it does take place, kickoff time, it is in exactly 1 hour's time. So 3 p.m. South African time is when this game will be starting. I'm back in the Romanians. Says Jordan, Japan to beat England, 10-1 odds. Says Shay, and I believe that Fiji are also about 4-1 odds, aren't they? In their game. I have actually got the odds somewhere here. One moment, I'll click this and click this. There we go. These are the odds on the New Zealand TAB. Now, they have probably changed a little bit. As you can see, I took that screenshot 2 days ago. But $1.06 for England to win this game. Suspended for South Africa. You can no longer put money on the Springboks, but you can put money on Romania if you want to try and risk it. $61 underdogs for this game. It would be interesting to see what the odds are, though, for the first team to score, because, of course, Romania scoring their only try up against the Irish in the early stages of that match. And then from there, unfortunately, that was it. We didn't see any more tries from Romania throughout that game. And Pollard must play against Tonga, get some game time before the knockout stages, says George. Yeah, it's a tricky one because you need to give him time on the field, but you also need to not restructure your whole backline around him, if that makes sense. It's a weird scenario because Handré Pollard is an absolutely phenomenal talent. But whether or not he slots straight back into that backline and everything's smooth sailing, definitely this close to like World Cup playoff games is a different story. You don't want to be putting him in for the quarterfinals. That is his first big chance. And then have him have a bit of a shocker. And that could get rid of the Springboks from this World Cup. It is an extremely risky time to bring a player back, but then they had to due to the injury of Malcolm Marks. But I guess that's the other side of things. When you do replace a player with a different position player, what does that say to those two guys who were already in the starting side? Marnie Libok and Damien Valimza. They were picked as the fly halves. Is that the coach's way of saying, you haven't done your job, so we're trying to bring in someone else to do your job for you, just in case you can't do it? And thoughts on Pollard coming back? Dude got a yellow yesterday and doesn't quite fit the Boks' current pacey attack, says Monsieur. Yeah, it's going to be a different tactical game, I'd say, from the Springboks. Perhaps we see a little bit more of that kicking coming back in. Handré Pollard was a cool head on the field, class player, says Hillary, and I want all tight head props on the field at the same time, says was Power Bite there. And Williams number 11, Runner 14, Fuff 10, and Hendrickson 9. I want this to happen even for just a few minutes, says Grant there. And Pollard got a yellow yesterday, he's not ready, says Monsieur. And also we have got there looking smooth today, says DPG. And also could easily see the Ireland-South Africa match being tight and possibly a draw. Yeah, I don't see it being split by any more than 5 points. And I hope that that is the way that it is when the game does take place. I don't want to see a massively one-sided affair. I feel like everyone wants it to be close, down to the wire. How many ties do you have on rotation for these World Cup streams? This is actually the same one as last week. It seemed relatively lucky the last time that we wore it. But I think I've got about 6 ties. One of them's like bright yellow, but I probably won't wear that one. If I wore it on the Australia-Fiji game, I don't think it would make the Fijians very happy. I can say that much. Pollard brings the calmness. Will be needed, especially when games become tight, says George. I like to see Romania get a couple tries, says DPG. And to be honest, as much as the Springboks would love to keep a clean sheet here, if Romania can find, let's just say, one little weakness in the way that the Springboks play throughout this game, the Springboks will see that as a massive bonus and a massive benefit from this contest. You want to go into every game learning something, whether you're winning or losing. And this is one of those games for the Springboks. It could be a good learning experience to go, do we try and use different tactics with our backline? I think that the combination that I want to see the most is Esterhuizen and Kane Moody, because if they play well in this game, I would argue that at least one of those two should be in the starting lineup up against Ireland, although I feel like the Springboks at the moment, they have their predetermined teams that they're going to be rotating between. So Damien Dielende, Jesse Creel would be the combination that they go with in that game next week up against Ireland, rather than giving Moody or Esterhuizen the chance. But perhaps if one of them goes very well, they could get themselves a chance off the bench. And the next game, Sean from Cambodia here, as a South African, mad respect to Romania, brave lads, taking the Springboks on. We South Africans respect that, says Sean. And we have got there, I hope you have that big water bottle to get you through the games. I certainly do. I only filled it up to about 3/4. But I don't know why I only filled it up to 3/4. I think it's because one time when I filled it up completely, I spilt it down my front. And that would be a terrible thing to do on the first live stream of the day, seeing as we have got a couple more just around the corner. The thing to remember is it's still a long way to go. World Cup is not won after 1 or 2 games. This World Cup is wide open, says Okur. Exactly right. I've heard people criticise certain teams throughout the group stages, Wales being one. They've heard a lot of criticism. But at the end of the day, they've got 10 points on the board in the group stage. And you don't really need to start playing your best rugby until you get to those playoff games, which sounds like a strange statement. But as long as you're in that top 2, you're still there. Likes of England, they weren't able to score any tries in their first game that they played up against Argentina, but they still got the win. That's 4 points on the board that could have easily gone Argentina's way in such a close head-to-head encounter before the match did kick off. Ireland are quietly about their job. And the comment says DPG, and also makes sense. Also, I don't think he will play the full 80, says George. And I, Hamish, looking forward to another great commentary. Don't forget to like and subscribe, folks, says Russell. Yeah, I think by the end of this live stream, we will be able to hit 33,000 subscribers. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Handré Pollard has a Johnny Sexton poster on his wall, says DPG. The question is, who doesn't? Now that Johnny Sexton, the leading point scorer ever for the Irish, bit of a veteran, bit of a legend at the moment in the rugby world, as much as some people don't like to admit it, you can't help but admire what Johnny Sexton's done for Ireland in that number 10 jersey. We have got Boxhaver F with injuries, says LB. I've just realised I'm like 4 minutes behind in the chat. We have got a whole heap of people already commenting, which is absolutely awesome. I do thank you all very much for being here so early in this live stream, and thank you for the fab commentary. Such a pleasure to listen to, says Jane. And Kivas Reinach and Vilimza start to get his halfback combination for the first time at this level, says Bystander. I didn't think we had seen it yet. I knew that it was relatively rare to see them combine, but it'll be interesting to see how it does go in this game with those two together. Prediction, says Damon. I believe for this game I predicted the Springboks to win. My initial prediction, I think, was 83 points to 3, if I'm not wrong. But I might have to just double check that when we get there. Looking dope, Hamish. Looks like you went to church, says Victor. And 38 years old, Johnny Sexton, 3 tries already, says DPG. Exactly right. He is absolutely tearing it up on the field. And he is one of 3 Irish players who have already got themselves the 3 tries or more in this Rugby World Cup alongside Tyke Byrne. And also Bundy Arki getting 2 doubles in his first 2 matches. However, going to win 106 to 12, says Andre Vermeulen. So question for you, Andre. You've given Romania 12. Is that 2 tries that they've been able to get, or are those all 3-pointers? Do let me know. I am curious. And also, hi, all in Hamish. Says Robert, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing extremely well. If there's going to be an upset, it'll be Fiji beating Australia. Yeah, I think that one, or Japan versus England, those are the 2 that people are looking at as the possible upsets of this round. To be honest, I hope we get one upset just because it will keep this World Cup interesting. So far throughout all of the games, we've almost had a evident winner before the game has kicked off. This one could be that little bit different. But first of all, of course, we haven't even talked about this Romanian starting side. They have made a few changes compared to what they did have in their last game up against Ireland, but quickly running through them. Hatig, Kurukaru at number 2, and then Gordas as the number 3. Hatig put in a big shift in the last game up against the Irish. Motic at number 4, and Ifte Mikek at number 5, whose name I think I mispronounced last week as well. Andre Gurin at number 7, or at number 6, sorry, Nicolau at number 7, and then the captain Tarika at number 10, Rapanu and Valvasa. That is actually a combination that I hope does very well up against the South Africans, because last week we saw Valvasa break in the line. We saw him setting up his teammates. Rapanu, the 1 try scorer for the Romanians, that was in the early stages of the match up against the Irish. Gotineak at number 12. Then it is going to be Tamani on the outside. That is Jason Tamani out on the wings. They've actually made the switch from what they had last week. Onutu moves out to the left wing. Manumua goes to the right after playing on the opposite sides for the last game up against the Irish. And Simeon Sku at number 15. He did actually get himself a yellow card in the last game up against Ireland. So that is also going to be my question that I ask now, ladies and gentlemen. How many cards are we going to see through this game? Someone actually told me a stat, and it was a surprising one. They said that at this stage in the 2019 Rugby World Cup, I can't remember the exact numbers, but the quotation, it's still very evident that it's completely different. Last year at this stage in the Rugby World Cup, I believe they said we had maybe 9 yellow cards and 1 red card. This year so far, they said that we've had 17 yellow cards and 3 red cards. So it makes you wonder, is the discipline going to be the problem in this game? Or is it in some cases not even the discipline, but how the referees are incorporating or interpreting the way that these sides are playing and the amount of penalties that we are seeing? Winners kick off in South Africa. It is at 3 p.m. South African time, so not too far away from the start of that. Does Johnny Sexton do many drop goals? Not a huge amount, not as many as George Ford, I can tell you that much, throughout this Rugby World Cup competition. Best rugby commentator out there, says Charles there. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And Sky Sports give this guy a contract, says the Sulk. Hopefully I've said that correctly. And the upset will be Australia winning, says Hanoi. I can tell you right now, if Australia win, Fiji will be upset. But as they should be. I mean, that first game, they were very unlucky up against Wales. I think everyone knows that at this stage. And that is one of the main points that were made about the consistency of refereeing. We want to see a nice, consistent game here. Yes, Romania are going to get themselves penalised quite a bit, but I'd like to think if the Springboks do end up infringing, they will also get pinged for it as well. Springboks best commentary, Love Bud, aka Chronic LFG, says Skinny J, and also 65 for the Springboks, 9 for Romania, says Enver. And South Africa 99, Romania 6. Oh, so you're saying they're just short of breaking that 100. South African kids will be asking Santa for island shirts for Christmas. Says DPG, I can guarantee you that unless they were like the only kit that you can get is the away kit, that would be the only way that they decide to get another side's kit. Because that away kit, it seems to split opinions for the Springboks. Some people go, yeah, it's all right. Other people go, get that off my screen. So I'm curious, do you guys like the Springboks away kit or the alternative strip? Or do you prefer, well, I mean, I know you'll prefer the green and gold, but did you prefer the old away kit that they had? Because if Romania can hold on the whole 80, says Sam Steele, and it is that big question mark that we've had for teams in the second round. Now that they've had a game under their belt, and now that it's not a heat wave in France, can they start to stay in a match a little bit longer? We saw Chile up against the Samoans. They had a good first half. Then that is when it died off for them. We saw in the game between Ireland and Tonga. Tonga weren't doing too badly in the early stages, but then once again, as the match wears on, those sides do start to dwindle, and that is, I guess, a big credit to the amount of stamina and the amount of fitness that these top-level sides do have, and it just shows what playing more rugby can do for you. And we don't like the white strip on the Irish jersey, says Charles there. And also we've got there, South Africa stick with the basics, they'll score more than 100 plus. And we have got there, okay, Silly Billy, which two do you say aren't real sports, says DPG, and also no one says anything when it's Wales on the receiving end of a bad referee, says Silly Billy. I would disagree with that statement because we have always tried to be as impartial as possible, and if Wales are getting well and truly screwed, I guess is the best way of putting it, I also do make a comment about it. I know that there's been a lot more uproar for the Fijians in this game, or that last game, than we normally see, but I think it was because it was just so evident that no one could really ignore it, unfortunately. I like your commentary. I'm in Spain. Can't watch your name pronunciation. Keep it up. Thanks for trying, says Vincent. Yeah, my Romanian pronunciation is not flash. I will admit that. I haven't watched a huge amount of their games, mainly because they don't really show Romanian games here in New Zealand. But that's the beauty of this World Cup. We do get a little bit more of a chance of watching these sides that we wouldn't normally get the pleasure of being able to call their games. Chile, their first ever Rugby World Cup, it was fantastic seeing the atmosphere in that game when it was Chile versus Japan. We have got their away kit is nicknamed the Listerine kit, says Sean. And also we have got their RFL Portugal too. No one says stuff. You're wrong anyway, says Silly Billy. I actually mentioned about the refereeing in that Portugal game, so I guess you are wrong, Silly Billy. And the other kit is the colours of Chequers, 60-60 colour. Good marketing there, says Bystander. And I love rugby, but I can't stand these type of one-sided matches. I always feel sorry for the teams like Namibia and Romania when they are getting a massive hiding, says Philippines. It's a shame, of course, but if you asked any of the players for Romania, you ask any of the Namibian players, just to be able to play against these top-level sides is almost a dream come true. And I know that that sounds weird to say losing by like 90 points is a dream come true, but for these guys, like to get to be on the World Cup stage, face the All Blacks, face the Springboks, it's just something that's so special for them, and maybe they only get that opportunity to do once. We don't know if these sides are going to be making it to the next World Cup. So to be able to have that moment where you're on the field or after the game where you exchange a jersey with a player who you've watched for a long time, maybe it's a role model for yourself, the likes of Namibia, maybe. You know, you look at some of those All Black players like Bowden Barrett, and if you switch jerseys with him when you're a young fullback, maybe that gives you that inspiration to keep going. I know that Portugal are a perfect example of a side that have talked about, we want to be the next generation's heroes, they said, or they want to be the inspiration for the next generation of rugby players. And they get that opportunity now because they are in this World Cup. That's garbage. Chad, other garbage. We have got there, Silly Billy is very correctly named, says DPG. And also South Africa 49-11 for the Romanians, says John. And that kit should have been white shorts, less than the brightness, says Goldberg. And difference between level 1 and level 2 is professionalism, EI money. And a real gentleman, Hamish, wearing a tie in respect for the Springboks, says Buffalo. And of course, in respect of the Romanians as well. Great commentary. I don't see Romania doing too well here. Stranger things have happened in the World Cup. Japan beat the Box same time back, or sometime back if I recall. They certainly did. Although that's the thing. The Springboks at the moment, they'll feel pretty confident going into this game. With the fact that they've made so many changes, that tells you that they are confident with their backline, confident with the tactics and the preparation for this match. But they will be absolutely buzzing to be back out there on the field for another World Cup. As non-imaginative We should have asked Rassi. He always has a plan, says Nelson. He probably would have put a little couple blinker lights on it just so that he can like control it with a remote. Tell Marnie Libok what type of kick he's doing. Just like have a little red light there, a yellow one there. It's a kick. Red light goes boom, boom. And Marnie Libok goes, yep, we'll take the kick and tee, thanks. I like how people, it's interesting, isn't it? People now criticize Rassi Erasmus anytime he comes up with a new strategy. But it's just the fact that it's so, I guess, new and no one else is thinking the same way Rassi is. Everyone else decides that they don't like what he's doing because it's innovative. And maybe we'll see other sides incorporated in the future. W Time says Amir. And also hello again from Wales, ex-Cape Town, says Beth. And also cricket score today, Springboks won the toss and opted to bat first. Says Buffalo might be the first World Cup where most of the teams aren't coached by Kiwi, says Sam Steele, and predicting a 68-8 win for the Box, says Justin. Why do the Box have the worst 10 in the world rugby right now? 10 that can't kick, says Flip a Coin. I think that's the problem for the Springboks is not so much their 10, but the support that their 10 receives. And I've talked about it many times over and over. At the moment, until Andre Pollard is match fit, Marnie Libok is your 10. Yes, his percentage of kicking in certain games is not flash. In other games, he has 100%, and when he gets that 100%, everyone praises him and says he's the best 10 at the moment for us. But what he does off the ball and what he does when he has the ball in hand, that cross kick to Kurtley Arinsa, I noticed no one was talking about that, but instead they were saying that he didn't have a good kicking percentage when he had a try assist and one of the best tries of the round going off to Kurtley Arinsa with that no-look kick. So I have to say, even though you don't like him so much as a player, he's in your team. He's a Springbok. Get behind the man. I call this Moody's 3 tries today, says Ockert. I did call it as well on the podcast. I said that he would be a very good option. Pollard is a weird choice. We will be able to see a rust flake off him. I'm a tight game. Well, in a tight game right now, Pollard and Libok will falter, says Flip a Coin. Well, that's the thing. So if you don't have a backup, who's your fly half? If you're saying Pollard is not going to be able to do it, if Libok's not going to do it, who are you giving? You're giving Valimza. He hasn't had one good game at 10 throughout 2023. He's been playing all of his best rugby at fullback. So what is the option in that case? Why are people so critical? Breathe people, says Jane. And Libok attacking style was phenomenal, although he struggles with his goal kicking. And some people would kind of compare him to Beauden Barrett in a way, because Beauden Barrett, for so long, he was that attacking threat for the ABs. He couldn't kick to save his life, but he was able to get those attacking plays and get more 5-pointers on the board than he was able to get the 3s or the 2s over. Springbok will demolish Romania, about 12 tries, says Destiny, and Kurtley Arinsa can play 15, says Anoi. Very true, Kurtley Arinsa, very good option for the Springboks, very versatile. And their backline, Pat de Klerk at 10 later in the game would be great, says Bystander. Yeah, I think the big question mark is how many Springbok halfbacks are we going to see on the field at one individual time? 10 is not the worst. He struggles to goal kick but plays well. We need a good kicker for the quarterfinals, says Andre. And I guess that big question mark is, if it wasn't Marnie Libok, does Pollard at the moment have the same attacking prowess as Marnie Libok does? Because are the Springboks going to be willing to take those 3s in a quarterfinal game? I assume that they would, which is where Pollard would come into it. But if they're in a tight game and the opposition are putting them under pressure and scoring tries, you need Marnie Libok to be able to get that attacking movement going. And Georgia 10 that can kick as a or can't kick as a liability. 10 needs to kick, pull the strings and set his team up. He's not up to scratch versus the 10 and other tier 1 teams, says Flip a Coin. So that makes you wonder whether or not do the Springboks need someone else in that backline who can kick. Why have they never tried Damien Valimza ever since he had like one bad game in terms of that kicking tee? Because he used to kick for the Stormers and he used to be pretty decent at it. But I don't know whether or not that is tactical, because theoretically, if Valimza was kicking at a high accuracy, you play Libok at 10, Valimza 15, problem solved. But they don't like to play him as the goal kicker. Valimza should play 15. I agree. I feel like Valimza at 10 is a risk. It'll go all right in this game, but I don't see them doing it in any of the big games coming up. But maybe it is just to cover themselves just in case there is a Marnie Libok injury. Just imagine a 2015 over again. Says Everett there, and Springboks should put up the highest score of the 2023 tournament today. We'll be close to 100 for the Box, says Andre G. And Libok or Pollard, a good problem to have, says says Sean. And I agree. But as an attacking fly half, he has done nothing wrong, says George. And Pollard can attack as good and better than Lebok, and he kicks very well, says Freedom and Truth. Although people were saying in that warm-up game that we saw Andre Pollard, he didn't quite look like he had his attacking and his everything back yet. In the future, few more games under his belt, Andre Pollard, I believe that he will be dangerous. The big question is it too close to those playoff games to give him that 10 jersey in one of those big matches? Let's say, for instance, it's going to be South Africa versus New Zealand or South Africa versus France in the quarterfinal. In a game that could be very close, Pollard's kicking will help out the Springboks, of course. But the big side of things is whether or not, if Pollard isn't quite ready, is that going to be where the Springboks don't quite fire the way that they normally would? Is that where the ball's going to stop going so that you don't get it out wide to Kurtley Arendse, to the phenomenal winger in Cheslin Colby? Willems are at 15. It's a tricky scenario for them to know whether or not it is too little too late to bring back Pollard. I believe that it's not. If they can give him 2 or 3 games before those playoff games, I believe he will be fine. But for me, the fact that he's not playing up against Ireland and the fact that only leaves them the game up against Tonga, he has to start and he has to play about 70 minutes of that game, or else I don't think he'll be ready for that first playoff game. And he at least needs to come off the bench in those playoff games if he's not starting. South Africa could hire Zinzan Brook to teach forwards how to kick goals, says Peter Wild. And also we have got there, they could start Pollard at 10, then move him to 12 later on when Lebok comes on. That is a good option, of course. And then would you have, this is the question, Justin, Esterhuizen 12, or would you go Damien Dialende? I'm still on the Andre Esterhuizen train at the moment, to be honest. Damien Dialende last game made a lot of meters, managed to break through quite a few tackles, but I still feel like Esterhuizen, with the form that he is currently in, he needs quite a bit of game time. And George, their no-look kick was the stuff of a legend, but teams don't remember for winning World Cups, not a free kick off hand. He needs the tee to impress the rest outside of South Africa, says Flip a Coin. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people around the world are impressed with Manie Lebok's attacking more than his, I haven't really heard too many people talking about that goal kicking outside of South African supporters. I know that a lot of people around the world are going, this guy's a threat because he's getting try assist after try assist. He's making magic with that back line. Esterhuizen for sure, moving to 13 when Pollard moves to 12 and Moody to the wing to replace Mapimpi, says Justin. Tell you what, you got it all sorted out. You had to send them an email. Let Rassie know, and he might just make it happen. Of course, he's not quite in charge, but he's kind of still in charge a little bit. And again, Pollard has a big unit, and with a powerhouse inside centre, would cause the defence to pull an extra player over, opening up the 13 and the wingers, says Warren. And can we watch the match here, says Galena. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, YouTube do take us straight down. But I can tell you we are going to be doing the live commentary, the play-by-play, all throughout the game, looking at stats, looking at who the players are that are stepping up, and then the highlights will be on YouTube straight after the game has taken place. Never forget that even Pollard had a few shockers for the box. Is that how good you are? Or it is how good you are on the day. Exactly right. People forget that Pollard has been through the same journey as Manie Lebok at certain times in his career. There's a bit of a throwback feel of when Pollard was younger, wasn't quite kicking the way that he would have liked, but was still creating moments for the Springboks. And that's why they stuck with him. And look at the player that Andre Pollard is now. The ones who are saying sack Lebok already because he's had a couple shockers off a kicking tee are the same ones who probably said the same thing about Andre Pollard, and now Andre Pollard is the player they want in. South Africa in good hands with Rassie Erasmus, says Andre there. And if ever Romania win this game, I eventually will break into pieces my 65-inch TV, and people who are not South African supporters, or people who are not South African supporters, don't talk about Manie Lebok's goal kicking because they don't care about how well South Africa will do, says Chad there. And yeah, I feel like at the moment, the only thing that people around the world can say about South Africa is they are one of the teams to beat, because we've seen what they've done over the last few weeks. In fact, that would transition us perfectly to looking at the Springboks' previous fixtures. Ladies and gentlemen, we have got their last 4 games. These have all taken place since the Rugby Championship. The first game up against Los Pumas, they were able to win it 24 points to 13. So a very impressive performance, definitely because the game prior to that up against Argentina, it was a lot closer. The Springboks, they were able to narrowly sneak that one, giving themselves a bit more of a comfortable win there. Up against Wales, they were able to win at 52 points to 16. Brilliant performance in that game from Jesse Creel, which I think helped cemented him as maybe that starting 13 for the big games of this Rugby World Cup. Of course, now that people have got a taste of Moody at number 13, there is a little bit of indecision from some supporters, but I think that's because of this game here. 35 points to 7. The Springboks getting themselves a massive win over the All Blacks, and in fact the largest losing margin that the All Blacks have ever had in their illustrious history. So because of that, Springboks come into this World Cup with quite a bit of confidence under their belt, and then they were able to win their opening game up against the Scottish, leaving the Scottish tryless, which is something not many opposition have been able to do after the little, or over the last little while. But the Springboks scoring 2 tries in that game. Peter Steph-Toy got one. The Mani Libok cross kick straight into the hands of Kurtli Aronsa did score the other. And 18 points to 3 was the end score. Looking at Romania's previous results, they did lose to the USA, 31 points to 17. They did also suffer a defeat to Georgia, 56 points to 6. Italy beating them 57 points to 7. And then the last game that they played was a part of the Rugby World Cup, 82 points to 8 in favour of the Irish. Now, a lot of people are looking at that Irish 82 and Springboks. A lot of people feel they will be able to beat them by just that little bit bigger of a margin. Now, I am just quickly looking up to see what my original prediction was for this game. I believe it was 80-something to 3. So whether or not that does happen and whether the Springboks can increase that points differential just that little bit more, we do, of course, have to wait and see as well. Will you be covering the World XP after the Rugby World Cup? We are actually hoping to cover some of it during the Rugby World Cup as well. I think that does start up in about 2 weeks' time, or next week I think it might be for the ladies. So we will be hopefully covering some of those games on the channel as well. Is it the same when South Africans criticised Percy Montgomery? He went through a bad patch, but turned out to be one of the best fullbacks. Fuff can kick as well, says Jeremy Rogers. Yeah, it's one of those ones that the players are going to have ups and downs. Professional rugby is a roller coaster. Sometimes you're at the highest of highs, and then other times you're at the lowest of lows, hoping that you get to go up one more bit of that roller coaster and get back to the peak. And for Mani Libok, I feel like, yes, some people would say that he's a bit like this at the moment, like the waves, but I still feel like his waves are a lot higher than they could be, if that makes sense. Like, I think the way people describe him, they're saying he's playing about here, but I still think even with his kicking being a bit shaky, he's about a here, and that's probably about an 8 out of 10. And then in those games where he does kick well, likes of the game up against these All Blacks, I don't think you can give him anything less than about a 9.5 out of 10 for his performance in that game. So it's that question of whether or not you do stick with him when he is having those games that are slightly less scoring than he would, or slightly less impactful than he'd like to be. For this game, I went 84 points to 3 in favour of the Springboks, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see whether or not that is anywhere near it. Romania's four-pack is going to be sore tomorrow, says Philippines. Although, to be fair to them, the Romanians, they've got a pretty good size for their four-pack overall. So I'd like to think that for this game, we will see the Springboks maybe pushed a bit early on. Just a little bit. And I hope that's the case. And I think that they'll be hoping that's the case as well. Because at the end of the day, they want to be put under pressure. They want to feel a little bit of intensity so that when they go into their game up against Ireland, they're feeling confident with what they can do in those breakdowns. Easthuizen is a beast. He certainly is. We have got there, Hamish, has there ever been a ton scored at a Rugby World Cup? There certainly has been. I think we've seen a few hundreds scored on the board before in a Rugby World Cup. But the Springboks, they want to get one in this game as well. As Pollard in the 23. Sexwell up for an injury, says Rian. So not at this stage, no. Andre Pollard, he's not expected to make a return for this game or the Irish game. I think he's still going to be away. But after that, he has got a good chance. In the box, similar to an Elton Yankees, says Blindside. The good news, and I guess the biggest comparison between those two, though, is Mani Libok has kept himself out of trouble off the field. And that makes it a lot easier for the box to select him a bit more consistent. Because, yeah, Elton Yankees, he's had his fair share of problems outside of the rugby field, and I think that has hurt his career as well. And I agree, Hamish Slaughter doesn't help South Africa at all, says Peter Weil. Yeah, they need to be pushed a little bit. Even if they do score a lot of points, and it is extremely one-sided, if there are little learnings that they can take from this game, that Romania can help them improve on just that little bit before they get into their future games of the Rugby World Cup. I'm sure that is what the Springboks will want in this game. It's getting tougher. We must sort out our combination, says Carol. And we have got there, not a fan of the bunker, should be removed. Yeah, we saw a game actually take about 2 hours and 10 minutes. That was Samoa versus Chile due to all the injuries that we saw throughout that game, as well as the TMO decisions. I'm hoping it's going to be a relatively smooth sailing game here, because the first couple games, the TMO hardly got involved. And then from there, it's as if they just decided, you know what, every play, we've got to check something. have the game start. Not quite Angelo. It is going to be starting in 30 minutes time though, so we are getting extremely close to this one, and it is going to be a very entertaining game. Looking through at the reserves for these two sides. For the Springboks, Dion Fourie, his first opportunity as the hooker in this Rugby World Cup. And almost in 2023, I think for every other game they have gone with the Marks and Umbonambi combination. But Dion Fourie, we saw him playing a little bit of hooker a while ago. He does do very well in the breakdown with those steals, so similar to Malcolm Marks in that department. And they've also got Maka van Staden as the third choice hooker at the moment. For the Springboks, Stephen Kitsoff and Trevor Nakanya going to offer a lot of stability at scrums later on in the game. That is rather than Frans Malharba as well. He is the only prop who is missing out. Archie Snyman, his offloading game is absolutely phenomenal. If you don't tie up that man's arms, he's going to find a pass away, and then that just continues that attacking momentum. Jasper Visser, a man who had a phenomenal game last week up against Scotland, and it's the perfect time to find his form as well at the start of a Rugby World Cup. He will definitely be excited for this one. Jaden Hendrickse at number 21, the replacement back, I guess. I was going to say halfback, but then they've also got Faf de Klerk there just in case they do need another option. Or the other side of things, of course, is Faf de Klerk goes into fly half as another option. For South Africa, Jesse Kriel, he is there at number 23, and that will either be in the centre combination or maybe they put him out on the wing. We could see a bit of a reshuffle. Maybe Moody drops out to 14. But either way, the Springboks going to be looking very strong in the later stages of this match. Off the bench for Romania, Eremiscu at number 16, Savin and Cretu, the other two front row replacements. Inchu at number 19 and Startella at number 20. Bobak at 21, Kunachi at number 22, and G-Pop is the name down there. Quite a fun one indeed, but he is the last man in the Romanian side for this match, and Romania will have to be careful when they decide to go to their bench. We know that the Springboks will try and start this match quick. They will try and put the intensity on from the final or from the first whistle of the game. Bring Pollard to the bench, says Carroll, and happy to hear Pollard is coming back, says T in there. And also we have got the Elton Yankees isn't very good. Just a little reminder, says Chad the Cat, and post-match bunker is the next evolution, says Tome. I would rather have my team grinding it out every game in the round robin. It all pays off in the knockout phases. Says Ocker, a Marks player of the tournament. Not anymore, sadly, due to his injury. He was actually the guy who I picked as the player of the tournament, but of course no one could predict that he was going to get injured after that first game and be knocked out of the whole Rugby World Cup. Playing Pollard at 10 is much less risky than hoping Lebok will play well, says Freedom and Truth, although at the moment with Pollard just returning from injury, people need to realise that is also a risk, because he didn't sound like, from what I've heard from Springbok supporters, he didn't sound like he had the best game yesterday when he played in a bit of a warm-up match. So that will be a concern. They'll want to make sure that he's in 100% action mode by the time he makes his way to the field, because the last thing you want is a fly half not to be firing. And that's the risk the Springboks have at the moment. Whether or not they go with maybe a slightly out-of-form Pollard, or you go with a 50-50 Lebok, even though I feel like even on Lebok's off days, he's still playing at about an 8 out of 10. And bloody hell, Romania, there's going to be a minimum 100 with one player going to score 6 tries. Says more. So who is the player who you think will get the 6? Ladies and gentlemen, Dion Fourie as a hooker of note. Asks the Stormers, says hooker. Yeah, he's actually played the hooker position for the Stormers a little bit in the past. The main reason for that is because Joseph Dweber likes to throw the ball sideways at hooker. And that is probably the reason why they brought in Pollard rather than Joseph Dweber. Fluff at fly half sounds weird. It may sound weird, but it is something that the Springboks have looked at in the past. And Pollard is not match fit and will not be picked. He can play Tonga. Leave the box, says Morse. The Boks just need to protect themselves from injuries. Good luck to both teams, says Michelle in there as well. That's not getting 100. You Muppets keep it real, says person 1. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I think that depending on what we see in the first about 15 minutes will determine how high the Springboks score. Because if they go out firing, score themselves 3 or 4 tries in that first 15 minutes, I could see them getting close to those triple figures. But if it's a little bit slower and Romania are keeping up with the pace a bit more, it could be similar to what we saw in that game between Ireland and Tonga, how it's a little bit closer for a start and then the Springboks start to really run away with it. I can still see them winning this game by around that 70 points, if not more though. I think my original prediction was 84 points to 3. I don't think that will be a mile off in the overall predictions. But looking at what the Springboks have got coming up in the future, ladies and gentlemen, they have got their game taking place up against the Irish next week. That is a massive fixture. We are going to be covering that one on the channel as well. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It's at 8 a.m. New Zealand time, which I believe is still 9 p.m. South African, because we have got daylight saving here, so we get put back an hour, I believe, for us Kiwis, or in fact we get put forward an hour, my apologies. So they've got the game up against Ireland, then they've got the game up against Tonga, and then this is where the final round of the group stage is taking place, but the South Africans do not have a game. They have a rest week before heading into the quarterfinals, where they will be taking on, more than likely, either New Zealand, France, or Italy. Then for Romania, they have got themselves the rest week next weekend. Then from there, they play Scotland. That is 15 or so days away. And then they have got Tonga as their last round game. So Tonga do not have a very fun finish to this group stage, because they have got themselves the box the week before, and then they go into this game up against Romania. So it may be the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, or the other way around, sorry. For the Tongans, they may just be able to get themselves the win there over the Romanians, though. As this one progresses, time is kickoff, only 24 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen. We have got their very insightful commentary and learning a lot of our very own Springboks in our process, says Denzel there. But yeah, I feel like because we've done so many South African games, I don't want to say that I know a lot about the Springboks. I have a lot of gaps in my knowledge, but I feel like from watching the URC, I've picked up on quite a few things. I've listened to a lot of you guys in the chat as well throughout our live streams. I'm slowly starting to understand some of the tactics of the Springboks. I have to say, though, 4 scrum halves, I did not predict that. I thought maybe 3 might be enough, but they've got the extra run in there as well. But early, but your predictions for England versus Japan, I can see a Japan upset in that game. But if England play well and they just grind it out like we've seen them do in the past, I can see them also getting over the line. We have got the SABC servers fried again, says Marnus. Romania won't score at all, maybe a 3-pointer. Certainly no tries, says George. And New Zealand scored the highest score in the World Cup history against Japan. And also we have got the Let's Break That Record, boys, says Andrew. Do you know what that score was, Andrew, out of curiosity? I know it was 100 and something, wasn't it? And Springboks Yarlikading, says JP. And hi, there goes South Africa, says Rudy in the chat as well. But we are getting very close to the start of this match, ladies and gentlemen, between the Springboks and Romania. It is the first of 3 games that we are going to be covering on the channel today. Now, we have got some of the previous results. Also, Ireland versus Tonga. It is in the books. The Irish getting themselves that bonus point win. So they now currently sit on 10 for Pool B. But looking through at the games, France versus Uruguay. We did see the win for the French, although nowhere near as one-sided as people first anticipated. Uruguay was their first game of the Rugby World Cup. I'm expecting some good things from them as we do move forward. New Zealand getting themselves to win 71 points to 3 over the Namibians. Now, my prediction was so close in that game. I predicted New Zealand to win 72 points to 3. Sadly, 1 point off, the closest I've ever been in my life to a correct prediction. Samoa versus Chile. It did start off relatively close, but then the Samoans, they were able to work themselves into a good position in that second half, get a few extra tries, and walked away with the bonus point win over the Chileans. Wales versus Portugal, it may be 20 points difference, but it was a lot closer than that. Wales were pushed hard in that game, but they still managed to get themselves over the line enough to get away with those 5 points. They now also sit on the 10. South Africa versus Romania, that has taken place in 20 minutes time. Then it is Australia versus Fiji, an absolutely massive game for those 2 teams, a must win for both, in my opinion. And then England versus Japan, the last game of the weekend. We are yet to see an upset in this round. Every game has been won by the side that is expected to win. Will any of these 3 games today be the difference maker? Perhaps we get to see the first upset of the Rugby World Cup. Are you a secret admirer of the Springboks? Go on, you can tell me, says Jane. I mean, I think I'm an admirer of a lot of teams around the world for rugby. I love the physicality that the Springboks bring to a game of rugby. I like the tactical plans that they use. And then also alongside that, I just love watching the URC and the Curry Cup. We've covered a lot of it on the channel before, and we will be covering a lot of it in the future as well. I just love the way that they play rugby. And I'm back. Thank you for the live stream, says Simeone. And I will be watching with his teammates, watching for his teammates, helping Kanan for 4 tries, so that he has a shot at 9, says Norman. And also we have got there, you're not beating that record, says person 1. So someone said it was 100 and, how much was it? 100 and something, 145. So yeah, that might be a bit tricky to get to. I'll be watching, oh no, I read that one, didn't I? Looking good, lad. What is the occasion, says NZ Puddle? We have got an exciting day of rugby. So that is why we have got the suit on. 3 back-to-back games. We might see an upset today, which is why I got the suit on, just in case it's got that big match feel. I'm looking forward Seeing who walks away, Hamish wears a tie for respect to the Springboks. Says Goldberg, I mean, there are 6 teams playing today. Of course, the Springboks are one of them. And good answer, Hamish, says Jane. And Hamish is a real Kiwi. Says Morse, and also George Positive says person 1. I will love a France or Ireland versus Bok final. New Zealand won't be in the finals, just my opinion, says Andrew. To be honest, you're not completely wrong there, because from what we've seen from the All Blacks already this year, we just haven't seen enough that tells us that they're actually going to go far in this competition. Well, almost made up my mind to sleep until you put your suit on, Hamish. Looks like we're sleeping after work. Says Audio, is there a mild chance of an Indian team ever playing in the Currie Cup? Says Blindside, I see what you did there, but I mean, I actually, on a live stream yesterday, we had an Indian rugby player who did pop in. So maybe in the future we will see India one day make it into a Rugby World Cup, which would be absolutely massive for them this reign. We're out the box to 100. Says Morse, and also greetings people low again. Hamish says Charles, and there's one. How's it, guys? Boca all the way. Says Aiden there as well. And come on, hit that like button and subscribe. This man needs us to be the best channel for the World Cup. It costs nothing, says Ocker. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 33,000 subscribers, and at the moment, we are less than 400 away, and I believe we will be able to get there by the end of this live stream. So if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more Rugby World Cup live streams coming in the future alongside videos as well. We are covering every single game of the World Cup on the channel. We have already done 13 matches. We have got another 35 to go, including the final, semi-final, quarter-final. All the matches are going to be covered right here on the channel. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We are only around that 15 or so minutes away from the kickoff. The two sides will be getting very close to making their way out onto the field for this monumental fixture. But first of all, for anyone who hasn't seen the lineups, this is what the two sides are working with. Oxnard at number 1, Bongi Manambi at number 2, and Vincent Koch at 3 for his first start and his first game of the Rugby World Cup 2023. Oxnard recently came back from injury, but boy, he has been looking strong since doing so. Nambi as well at number 2. He was always going to be starting this game. The unfortunate nature is now that they don't have Malcolm Marx, it means that I think Marco van Staden is actually going to be the man who is a third choice hooker. Dion Forey off the bench still has a lot of promise playing in their hooker jersey. Jean Klein at number 4. He is taken to the Springbok side like a duck takes to water. He has been phenomenal throughout 2023. Marvin Uri at number 5. A lot of people looking at that man for a big performance here. If I'm not wrong, he is the youngest player in that fullback. Almost, no, not quite in the whole team. I just realised Kanan Moody's at number 13. He only just finished high school. Looking at the loose ball trio, Marco van Staden at number 6. Clacher Smith at number 7, and Dwayne Vermeulen. He's certainly not the youngest player, but he's got the most experience, and he is certainly a dangerous player in this side, Dwayne Vermeulen. In fact, Willie LaRue probably has more experience than him as well. Kobus Reinach and Damien Valimza as the 9-10 combination. The first time we have seen that combo for the Springboks throughout 2023. Andre Esterhuizen and Kanan Moody as the midfield. We saw them do it up against the All Blacks. They were sensational, and I'm hoping they will be able to back it up here. Makazole Mapimpi out on the left wing. Grant Williams, the elusive halfback / winger now. He is out on the right with that speed. We almost saw him get that line break up against Scotland. It was just that last minute ankle tap of Finn Russell that stopped him. In this game, if he gets space, I don't think any Romanian is stopping him from scoring. Willie LaRue, the man at number 15, he did not play in the starting lineup last week. Now gets himself that spot at number 15. Looking in the chat once more. Have to agree, definitely the best channel, says Jane. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. What will it take to bring the bucket hat out, says Blindside. The only problem with the bucket hat is when you have it on, it's hard to put headphones on over the top. That is the one slight problem with a bucket hat. I have a few other weird hats. Well, not weird hats, but just hats. And looking smart, mate, like a true professional commentator. Ex-Central Auckland here now in Australia, says James. So thank you very much for tuning in, mate. Hugely appreciated. We always put the suit on for the big matches in this match. It's got that big match feel, but also the day as a whole, with Fiji versus Australia around the corner, with Japan versus England taking place later on tonight. Certainly going to be an entertaining 3 games of rugby, and I cannot wait to see who walks away with their victories. If England played in the Southern Hemisphere competition against the Boks and the All Blacks, they'll be humbled, says George, although the beauty of rugby is they don't. And that is what's so cool about when these sides play off, because if Ireland played South Africa every year, it wouldn't have the same feel. And I think everyone would admit that. Because they don't play very often, and because we don't get to see it outside of a Rugby World Cup that much. When they do go head-to-head in that group stage game next weekend, it's going to be absolutely electric. There are going to be Bok fans. There's going to be Irish fans. They've been at each other's necks all throughout this World Cup, and now it's only around 7 days away before we know which side has that talking, who has that bragging right before going into the further stages of the Rugby World Cup. The question is, will they meet again after the group stage? Whether or not that's in the final. In fact, I think that's the only time they can meet again is in that World Cup final. Rassi knows what he is doing in the World Cup. Box still is best to come. They haven't peaked yet, that's for sure, says Andrew. Uruguay almost humble France, says Georgia. Uruguay played an absolutely phenomenal game of rugby, which was great to see because at the end of the day, these lower-ranked sides, it's all about showing everyone what you can do on the world stage. We have seen almost every single underdog score themselves a try. The only two sides to not score a try in round number 1 was England and Scotland. England, they still got themselves the win though, 27 points on the board. They were just all from 3-pointers. In this case, I hope that Romania still score a try, and I hope from that it is going to be something that the Springboks can learn from, whether or not it was just catching a player slightly out of position or something along those lines, but something to help them. That is the main thing for the Springboks in this game. They don't want to be completely dominant. They want to find little things in their game that they can adjust so they can get stronger as they make their way through this Rugby World Cup. Southern Hemisphere teams need to be disciplined against Northern Hemisphere teams who aren't afraid to kick a penalty goal from anywhere. Says Blindside, I like physicality, but mainly the local two girls, or the local girls 2 miles from me. 2 miles from me is centre of a lake. Says Chad Cat, looks like you're going swimming. By the sounds of it. And got visuals, but listening to your commentary, great. They've just shown the temperature, 25 degrees Celsius, 19 kilometres of wind, so not a huge amount, but 25 degrees is still relatively up there in terms of temperature, but nowhere near what they did have last week. So both of these sides will be enjoying the slightly cooler weather. The Romanian supporters are in attendance, the bright yellow, but of course we're seeing some green and gold as well for the Boks, who are looking to get themselves yet again another win in this Rugby World Cup. I will mention anyone who is, do be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are 70 away from 32,700. Can we get there before the end, or before the start of this match, I should say? But for the Romanians, we have shown their lineup just a little bit earlier on, but we will show it again here, and it is going to be a very interesting one for the Romanians. Where did their lineup go? There they are. They're hiding up the top. There we go. The Romanians, Hatig, Kojukaru at number 2, and then Gordas at number 3, Mutic, as well as Ifti Mikiak at number 5, Goran, Nicolau, and also Sharika, the captain. He is there at number 8, and he'll be looking forward to the chance to go head-to-head with Dwayne Vermeulen. We've talked about it before, but for some of these players of the smaller nations, this World Cup, for one, is a dream, but the players that they get to play against, it will also be a dream come true. Dwayne Vermeulen, huge amount of experience. That could be a very exciting one to see the young versus the old in that match. Up throughout the game, Rapanu at number 9, he did score himself the 1 try for the Romanians up against Ireland. Valvasa at 10, and then in the midfield, Gontiniak at number 12, Tamani at 13, Onutu and Manu Moore. They have swap wings compared to what they were sitting on for the first game. And Simeon Scoot, he got himself a yellow card in the first game of the Rugby World Cup, can certainly not afford to have one here, because if the Springboks have a man advantage, that is when it's going to go downhill for the Romanians. A Tier 1 versus Tier 2 match is fair. A question put up by a few on here. Yes, they are, because there's always a possibility of a giant killing. Remember, Japan did it against the Boks in 2015, says Stephen. And that's the big thing for some of these sides. It's not so much about the winning of the games. It's about being there in this World Cup. You look at the likes of Chile. You saw the emotion on the face of the players when they were singing their national anthem at a World Cup for the first time. They scored the first try in that game up against Japan, and the crowd erupted. Those are the type of feelings as a player that you live for, that you want to be able to experience. And with taking teams out of a World Cup, because I've heard people say, should it just be about a 12 or a 16 team Rugby World Cup? But I don't think it should be. I think we should have at least the 20 teams. I don't think you can go too much more than 20, mainly because then there will be so many one-sided affairs. But for these sides, it's about being there. It's about getting that experience, the feel of a World Cup. Because for a lot of these men in this Romanian lineup, this is the only time that they will experience this in their whole career. A heavy springtide waves around Western Province coastline, tons of damage, says Goldberg. And why Romania in World Cup? They should be in the Boy Scouts League. They can't match these big guns, says Roof. pretty much the point that I just made. It's about being there. It's about getting to experience and going to stream the game. Says Stella, sadly, due to licensing, if we show any live stream audio or footage, we do get taken straight off YouTube, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary, looking through at the stats as we progress throughout this game, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Your prediction says Morne Lagrange. Before this game did take place and before the lineups were announced, my prediction was 84 points to 3 in favour of the Springboks. I'll be honest, I feel like I may have underestimated Romania's ability to score tries a little bit because that counter-attack that they had up against the Irish was very smooth, very clean, but it's a question of whether or not we are going to see the possibility of the Springboks making a mistake that allows the Romanians. I don't think they'll be making too many throughout this game. The thing that might hurt them, though, is the fact that they have got so many changes in that back line with Grant Williams getting to start out on the wing with Damien Valimza at 10. We haven't quite seen him prove himself in fly half yet. Fullback, phenomenal. And I hope that they play him at fullback more in the future. Mani Libok being rested for this game, of course. We can agree on something. I feel for these teams, says Hanger Rat. And how come South Africa don't play rugby league? It's down to... Oh, actually, they're playing a game of rugby league next weekend, I think, and it's up against Japan, if I'm not wrong. I think they have got a rugby league game coming up in the near future. But the main reason was it used to be that you weren't able to play league, and if you did, you were, I think it was banned from rugby union, so that is why a lot of players did go down the track of unions. South Africans are so overrated, says Tony. So what would you say about them is overrated, Tony? Because, like, at the end of the day, they've won 3 World Cups. They're tied for the most World Cups won out of any side. They were ranked number 1 in the world for a long time. They have been able to recently beat the All Blacks by their biggest winning margin over an All Blacks side. So which part of it is overrated? Would you, like, in just general or, like, statistically? What are you looking at? And may the ref be the man of the match, says Lightbringer. And also, so South Africans, so are the Bok, says Andrew. I know we are putting out positive energy only, Amish, says Jane there. This South African team, says Tony. Well, this is the team that they've put together as an experimental lineup. And we haven't seen them in action yet. So it's hard to judge them off this because when was the last time we saw Grant Williams out on the wing? When was the last time we saw the Springboks have 4 halfbacks in their side? It is something we have probably never seen before. So it's hard to say that it's overrated if we haven't actually seen them play a minute of rugby together yet. You know, maybe after the game we can judge it. But for now, we have to go, this is the team that they've put out. We'll see whether or not it works or it doesn't. I think it's one of the greatest squads we have taken to the World Cup, says Andrew. We play slower. Don't think we will get as many points as Ireland, says Michael there. And also it's because of Rassi. Although, with that comment, Michael, I think with having Kobus Reinach as the number 9, that may actually help out the Springboks accelerate the game a little bit more than what it could have been if they had Faf de Klerk as that starting number 9. And South African Pekin, Irish with the biggest loss in the Rugby World Cup, says Rian. And also, who do you think is going to win, says Rico. It is going to be, in my opinion, the Springboks. I went with 84 points to 3 as my score prediction. A lot of the squad have won a World Cup, says Andrew. Yes, they've been there, done that in 2019. And, you know, a lot of those boys want to get a second World Cup under their belt as well. Because for the likes of a Dwayne Vermeulen, for the likes of Eben Etzebeth, Willie LaRue, this is their last World Cup. Unfortunately, Etzebeth at a stretch might make the next one, but I definitely see Dwayne Vermeulen not being at the 2027 one, even though I'm sure at 41 years of age he would still love to be able to take to the field one last time for them. But yeah, I can see this being their last World Cup, so they want to finish it with a bang. They want to show everyone what they can do. Most of the supporters were losing when their year got named. Now they're the bee's knees. Is that their team got named, maybe? And I really hope he stays and gets a hat-trick. He's my Subaru captain, says Michael. Ooh. See, I've actually backed Kane and Moody to get himself the hat-trick out of these 2 players in the midfield. So we have to wait and see which one is correct. One moment, we all go like this. I don't know why I always put my water so far away that I have to lean very far to get it, but we have got it, ladies and gentlemen. Stay hydrated just before the kickoff now. We are 5 minutes away, so if you haven't already, be sure to get yourself a drink, a beverage, a bowl of chips, an apple. I said that last time and everyone criticised because they were like, why would you have an apple during the rugby? But if you're a horse, horses like apples. I don't think we've got many horses watching the live stream. Shout out to all the horses out there. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are just around the corner from kickoff. I'm sure Grant Williams will also fit the 9 spot. And when Reinach is caught up, I can see how fast, I see fast distribution coming. Reinach and Williams together, going to be pacey and a total handful, says it was there. From Andrew and Howdy all says, Jody, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Nay, says Blindsides. We got one horse. Respect apples, says Amy. You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away, doesn't it? Normally it's when you scone them in the head with it. We got Go Bok, and also we've got there, get some biltong, mate. I still haven't tried biltong, but I feel like at some stage in the future, I will definitely have to try it. Box by 50, says Jody Cook, and you look smart, buds. Says Gary, I actually got a different shirt because my old shirt that I had last weekend, the collar was absolutely massive. But luckily this one's a bit smaller, but now the two sides making their way out of the tunnel. Bongi Umbanambi leading the Springboks out onto the field. And the Springboks looking formidable as always, but the Romanians wearing the bright yellow, as you guys know, that is my favourite colour, so of course I have a bit of a soft spot for them. And this game built on Bear and Bok says on the fly, but do let me know now, ladies and gentlemen, as we close in on the start of this match, what is your score prediction for this game? Is it going to be the Springboks by a massive margin, or will it be a slightly closer game than some are anticipating? Do let me know. If you want to support the Bok, you need biltong. Says Rico there, my surname means horse. So I'm one of those horses, but I'm sitting with fried chips, says Binky. Chips are a very good option for the rugby, that is for sure. And horses are the best, beautiful. Says Rian, and Romania can be proud of their jersey though. Says Amy, yeah, it's a very nice kit for the Romanians in this game. You can see the concentration on the faces of the players. They want to make sure they go out here and put on a good performance. They did score the first try up against the Irish in last week's game. And we want to do the exact same. Right here, Bok by 50, says Kaylee. South Africa by 70, says On the Fly. And we're in the suit for the Oaks, doing them justice, says Sebastian there. And 1 try for Romania, says Blindside. But we have currently got the Romanian national anthem. Looking through at their lineup once again. Hatig, Kuchikaru at number 2. And Gordas at 3. Mutik and also Ifti Mikhaik at number 5. Goran, Nicolau, and also Charika, the captain. He is there. At number 8, Rupanu, the 1 try scorer from that game, up against Ireland. Valvasa, he was very good in the last game, Hinkley Valvasa, so hopefully has a decent performance here. Guntinaic in the midfield alongside Tamani, Onutu, Manu Moore. They have both swapped the wings from last week, and Simeon Skoo, the man at number 15, the youngster, will be looking forward to the chance to go head-to-head with the Springboks. In the Springboks starting lineup, it is Oxnashare Bongium Banambi, who is the captain for this contest, and Vincent Koch at number 3. This is his first game of the Rugby World Cup. Jean Klein and Marvin Ori, same can be said about those two individuals not getting themselves the chance off the bench in the last match up against Scotland. But a combination that the Springboks have used throughout this year. Makafan started at number 6, Quaka Smith at 7, and Dwayne Vermeulen, the experienced veteran there, as the number 8, Kobus Ronak and Damien Valimza, the 19 combo, which I'm sure will be a very entertaining one throughout this contest, but even more entertaining has to be this midfield combo. Andre Estays and Kanan Moody, they did fabulously or brilliantly up against the All Blacks. Moody for a hat-trick in this game is the one prediction that I have said, and I am sticking with it. Moody will be very dangerous here. Maka Zolimapimpi out on the left wing for his first game of the Rugby World Cup. Grant Williams out on the right wing, can play halfback as well as the wing now. And then Vili LaRue at number 15, ladies and gentlemen. But the Springboks national anthem, they are looking fired up, ready to go for this game. Go Bok, says Lisby. And also we have got there in the chat 50 for the Bok, 10 for Romania, says David Boy, as his prediction, 80-12. Says audio, and Bok players can't afford any more injuries. So much for all the strength and depth talk, says Brian in there. Although, looking for the Springboks is, even with the injuries that they're suffering, the fact that Mako van Staden is now the third choice hooker, the fact that Dion Foree is able to play hooker as well, it just shows the versatility of the Springboks side. The fact that they didn't have to go and bring in a hooker, because they could have. They could have gone with maybe, Joseph Dweb is an option. I almost chuckled when I said that because the man cannot throw a straight line out. They've got Johan Grobbelaar that they could have brought in. Kieran van Veerden as another player from South Africa that could have been an option. I even heard Bismarck Duplessis' name mentioned. But he is a red card machine, so I don't think they would have gone down that route. Kiwi lads are the best, says Rhea, and let's go Bok, says Caitlin. And there is, hopefully you have had plenty of sleep since yesterday. You're all caught up. And good evening, Amish, says Ian Foster. Welcome in, mate. Go Springboks, says Johanna. And rugby players are the South Africa's most lucrative export, says Rudy. But the South African national anthem has been sung This is an important game for the Springboks because this will tell us whether or not they take risks in a few of the other contests. Whether or not that is with the halfback changes. I feel like the forward-back overall is extremely solid though. They won't really change that too much. It's whether or not we get to see Andre Esterhuizen and Kane Moody perhaps even earn a spot for the game up against Ireland if they play well. Is Pollard being called up? That is the rumour that I've heard, and I believe that is the case now for Andre Pollard. But he isn't quite at the stage that they want him to be at just yet, so I don't think he'll play up against the Irish, but there's a chance that we could see him in the game up against Tonga, in which he could play very well. We have got to stream the match here. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube, but we will be doing the commentary all throughout the game, so anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We had the goal of hitting 32,700 before kickoff. We are 52 away, so if 52 of you hit that subscribe button, we will be there just before the start of the game. Forever South Africa, and the Chan and South Africa flag, says Natasha, and come on box, says Rhea, and there, but we will also ask the question, ladies and gentlemen, first try scorer in this game, who do you think it will be? I said that Kane Moody's getting a hat-trick, so we might as well go with him as my first try scorer as well. Pollard is not even called up. Says Tome there. Yeah, he's very close though. That seems to be the one who is running at the front at the moment in terms of those options, but they are announcing it a little bit later on this weekend, but Pollard looks like he's going to get the nod. Did South Africa request daylight games as they are not used to having power at night time? Says Gareth. They've had a nighttime game though, haven't they? South Africa, and in fact, they're playing a nighttime game next week, which kind of makes that redundant. It's hot out there, says Natasha. Yeah, about 26 degrees at the moment for these games. Rapano, obviously, says Sebastian there. And green and gold, lovely. And the South African fans, green and gold all over, says Shana. But it looks like it is going to be South Africa with Damian Valimza as the starting 10. He will be the player who does kick off this match for the Springbok Go Box, says Neo. It's going to be a try fest, says Andrik there as well. Now Damian Valimza, ready to go. He hasn't had the best performances at 10 as of yet this year, but he's been playing brilliantly at fullback. Looks like it is going to be Matthew Renel, the French referee in charge. Angus Gardner, he will be one of the assistants. Love the Springboks, says Marina there as well. There are two Hamishes, that's why he's always so full of energy. Says Chad the Cat, but it is now kicked off by Damian Valimza. The first game of 3 that we are covering today, and it's a good low tackle made from Grant Williams on the captain Churika to start us off. But Romania, they'll be looking for physicality early. I think Dwayne Vermeulen may have actually taken a knock to the head there, but he is still going the Thor, and he almost managed to get the turnover in the breakdown. Volvasa back in the pocket. Does now put it high towards the touchline. Simeon Skoo, in fact, it was, and he's kicked it out on the full. Springboks have the opportunity just outside of the 22 now to launch their first attack. And blue tie because you can't wear a green one, says Caitlin there. Yeah, I guess, blue's probably a little bit more Romanian than South African, isn't it? I am still impartial, I swear, ladies and gentlemen. We have got there, why does he dress like that when it's South? Says Sabella, it's not just because it's South Africa in this game, it's because we've got for Fiji versus Australia just around the corner, as well as Japan versus England. And those games are the big matches of the weekend, I feel. So that is why we've got the suit on for today. It's knocked back onto the side of South Africa. A little bit loose at line-out time. But, of course, with Bongi Mbonambi now being the first-choice hooker, they will have to make sure that that is consistent throughout the rest of the World Cup. Jean Klein takes the tackle now. Sitting about 20 metres out from the line. Good low tackle made by Romania, getting in the breakdown, but it's available for Reinach. Gives it off now to Oxnishe. Short ball to Bongi Mbonambi, the captain. It's good face play at the moment from South Africa, and now they have got themselves a penalty advantage. Oxnishe trying to break his way through. Valvasa trying to stop him, but they're only 7 metres out for the line now for the Springboks. Damian Valimza just threw it forward. He just passed it to Hatig and said, you have it. And then he went, oh, wait, no, you're not on my team. But it is going back for the penalty. And now South Africa, 2 minutes into the game, I don't think they'll take on the 3. They are instead going to go for the scrum here. Good morning from Colombia. First try for Villy LaRue, box by 90. Says Neil, and like the jacket and the tie, due respect for 3 previous World Cup winning teams playing today, says Akaris. Oxnishe, good aggressive run from him to start us off. Valvasa is the man who had to make the tackle, but then Valimza, as he ran forward, just ends up with the ball bouncing. And great commentating, says Rudy. Thank you very much, mate. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Of course, we are going to be here for every single game of the Rugby World Cup. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But the pack weight is Springboks have got themselves a bit of an advantage there, 895 kgs compared to the Romanian 864. Ranak feeds the ball in now for the box. And it's a little bit wobbly there at scrum time, but no advantage. Ranak sells the dummy. He pierces his way through, and the elusive halfback gets the first try of the match for the Springboks. Actually, very similar fashion to what we saw in the All Blacks versus Namibia game, with a halfback scoring first. Same with what we saw for Rapanu when he was able to score first up against the Irish, but Ranak his first Rugby World Cup 2023 try in his 3rd minute of being on the field. Doesn't get much better than that. The ball popped out the side, and then Ranak sells the dummy. Didn't need to pass on the outside, as Romania did leave a gap the size of South Africa in between their back line. We will add Kobus Ranak to the try scorers list. Now, this list may be relatively long by the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, but it will be scrolling across the bottom all throughout the live stream. There we go. Ranak, the first try scorer, South Africa, says Caitlin there. How did Romania get in and not USA, says person 1. Well, it's all down to the teams that they are playing in their grouping. Romania part of Europe, USA are part of the Americas side of things. And I think they got beaten by Chile in the 2 double headers, so that hurt. And Valimza, he has missed his first kick of the day. Cue the comments of people saying he should be sacked just like Mani Libok, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. Kobus Ranak, great bit of work from him though. And we have got there as Vincent Koch injured, says Brian. Was that Trevor Nakanya at 18? Or sorry, not at 18, at number 3, rather than Vincent Koch? Is that a late change that they made for the Springboks? And good day, Savas, says Ashley and also Carl was wrong, says person 1. World champions will definitely win today's match, says Keith. You'd hope so. If they do not win this game, something has gone seriously wrong for them. But Dwayne Vermeulen got a run forward from him, straight over the ball for Romania. Hartiga extremely unlucky not to get that turn. What's that siren? I think someone's just gone around the... Was that the timer for the kick? At the end of the day, it's dark. True. Very true. Brilliant exit from the 22 there for South Africa, now inside of the half of the Romanians, but Romania will have themselves a line-out throw. We have also got there, why do they always show the try scorer if the kicker misses? Says JP. I guess it's a point, isn't it? Is Sia Khaleesi playing? He is not. He's been arrested for this game. He will be back for the game up against Ireland, though, and which I'm sure he will have a real impact. He's going to be going probably head-to-head with Peter O'Mahony, which will be a fantastic one to watch. But the Springboks currently looking to get this ball back. Romania on attack just inside of the Bok half now. It was Andre Gorin feeding it back around. It's going to be Rupanu, the try scorer. Vawasa hit hard, and the shot by Jean Klein, but he's been able to regather the ball, and the penalty goes the way of the Springboks. We've got a new channel member in there as well. It is Peter. Thank you very much, mate, for hitting that channel membership button. It's hugely appreciated. And this is a Bok issue. It could be a problem in the Type 5, says Brian. Bok fans getting carried away with the try against Romania. And are you going to show the match here? Sadly, due to licensing, we're unable to show any match footage or audio. And we have also got there all caught up on the sleep and energized for this game, says Caitlin. And someone mentioned about why is the 18 starting at tie here. So yeah, it must be some sort of late injury for Vincent Koch. Maybe, or someone just forgot to swap the... No, he was supposed to be in the starting line. It wasn't even Vincent Koch. I don't know what's happened there. We'll have to find out. Hopefully they mention it at some point. But now the rolling ball for the Springboks, 15 metres out from the try line. Umbanambi at the back, and now it's starting to march towards the try line. Kobus Ranak takes it off the back, goes on to Andre Estes, and this man is a phenomenal talent. I hope he gets himself plenty of minutes throughout the later stages of this World Cup. Passed on now to Vili LaRue. He's got Makazole Mapimpi on the inside. It's another try for the Springboks. 6 minutes into the game, and they have started this game extremely quickly, ladies and gentlemen, trying to shut down the game as soon as possible, I should say. But Ranak and Mapimpi, the 2 try scorers now. We have got there, Springboks will call another try. And we have got there watching on SABC Sport, but put the volume down. Your commentary is better. Says Honeys, thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. This was a nice backline movement for Limza, passing it out in front of Damien, or in fact, sorry, in front of Vili LaRue, which allowed him to run onto it, keep the momentum flowing. And then that little pop pass on the inside to Makazole Mapimpi. And when you give that man that chance, only just out from the try line, he is scoring more time than not. And Vince Koch injured himself before the game. The Boks are falling like flies, says Brian. So hopefully it's nothing too serious for them. I know that they've got a few props on standby, whether it is going to be Thomas de Toy. They've also got Johan Hrobela, or sorry, not Johan Hrobela, Gerhard Steenkamp is the man I meant. You guys asking for the live stream, chill and listen to Hamish. Says Vagabond. And also this is fun, says Sebastian. And the kick this time is successful from Mane Libok. And that will now make the score 12-0 for the South Africans after only the 7 minutes. This is probably the fastest start we've seen from any side throughout this Rugby World Cup so far. A nice inside ball to Makazole Mapimpi, and he certainly was going to be getting close to the try line there. So we're going to ask the question, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing a lot of tries being scored already by the Springboks. Who will be the first Springbok forward to get over the try line? Do let me know. That is kicked off by Romania. Almost went out on the full, but the Romanians actually able to retain their own kickoff here. They will once again get another attacking opportunity. Trevor Nakanya, the replacement tight head prop, making the tackle there. Now Hatik. Nice straightening run from him. Tackled by Mako van Staden. Now back across to the right-hand side. Tomane gets back up to his feet. Tackled by Andre Estes and Rupanu. Now going back across. This is where the Springboks will look to get the ball back as soon as possible. The less time they have to spend defending, the better, and it's loose. And it's picked up now by Mako van Staden. Just can't quite get his feet back underneath him. Now Reinak with the sniping run, the halfback. He's through again, and he's got the pace to match. Kobus Reinak gets the double here. And that is now 3 tries within the 10 minutes for the Springboks. First Rugby World Cup for Kobus Reinak, and he's already got himself the 2 tries. And now it's setting up very similar to what we did see in that game between the All Blacks and Namibia with Roygaard. He was the man who got the 2. We just spoiled tonight, Hamish. Tri-fest and a big clash after this. Yeah, it's a brilliant day for rugby in terms of the matches that we're going to see, that is for sure. We are going to be live for all 3 of the games as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And we have got there, bro, can't you show us the match? Sadly, not due to licensing. If we show any match footage or audio, YouTube take us straight down, and we have the possibility of getting sued. But on SABC, you will be able to catch the coverage, unless, of course, it is glitching like it was last week. 3 gifted tries by Romania. WTF, says Joe D. This might get injured going over the try line too much, says person. But there he is, Frans Malherbe. The late call into the bench. That is due to Vincent Koch. Injury just before the game. What's the record score difference, anyone? Says Stephen Taggart. At a Rugby World Cup, it is the All Blacks beat Japan 147 points to 17, I think someone said earlier on. But anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 33,000 subscribers. We, at this stage, may be able to hit it by halftime. So if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Big shot coming in on Thor by, I believe it was Nicolau. Now South Africa just inside of their 22, taken back by Reinak, so won't be able to kick this ball out on the ball. Grant Williams chasing after it, not able to take it cleanly. I believe it is a knock-on by him, but now Nicholas Onutu trying to break through. Reinak makes another tackle. He has been absolutely everywhere throughout this first 10 minutes. And with the fact that there are 4 halfbacks playing in this game, it means for the Springboks, this is almost a trial for those men to try and say, this is who we think we should, or this is who that wasn't a sentence, pretty much saying they should play against Ireland. But now, Andre Estes around the side of the breakdown. I think I'm too excited for the rugby day. I forgot how to speak. But now Kanan Moody, his first touch of the day, gives it off to Makazole Mapimpi. Inside ball now across to Damian Willemse. Estes through, and the Stormers fly half. Will score the 4th try of the match. Now we are only 11 minutes into the game, and the tries are absolutely flying. That is the quickest bonus point that we have seen of this Rugby World Cup, and probably will see of this Rugby World Cup. But the Springboks already will be walking away from this game with the 5 points. And Damian Willemse for the try, says Terence. And also we have got the donation from Stan Polson. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated for your support. But your commentary is about 2 minutes ahead, says James. So if you pause me and then wait a couple minutes and then click play, you will be all synced up and ready to go. But Damian Willemse gets the kick over. 26 points to 0 now for the Springboks over Romania. We have not seen a sign that says that the Springboks aren't going to do this for the full 80 minutes here. Great commentary, says Judy, but a missed tackle. Damian Willemse skips his way through and scores the try for the Boks for their 4th of the game. They need 70 points by halftime to get near the record of 147. says person 1, and this match is going to be a cricket score. And thanks for that idea, says James. And does Romania know they need to tackle? Says Polly, they've made a few. The problem is the Springboks are just offloading the ball, keeping it alive as much as they physically can, and it's just going to put the Romanians under a huge amount of pressure. I'm thinking that they will get tired. Dwayne Vermeulen, good run forward from him once more, and the penalty goes the way of Romania. 22 metres out from the Springboks line. They could take on the 3 if they want the points, but I believe... I think I just saw... Are they pointing for the posts? Just to get some sort on the board, and also that would slow the game down so that they have a bit more time to recover after the onslaught that they have faced throughout that early stage. We have got there, well, this game's going to be 100 plus, says Sam Wilson. And currently anyone who doesn't know about how it is sitting for the overall pools of this Rugby World Cup, for the Springboks to take first place in Pool B, they would need to win this game by 103 points. So keep that score in mind, because if they get more than 103 points here, or get the margin of more than 103, they will be sitting at number 1 in their group at the end of this round. You say Box will get 5 points, you're assuming they're going to win, says Ronald. I know, it's a bit rough for me, isn't it? But Romania, the fact that they're taking on a 3-pointer here, I feel like that slightly solidifies it, doesn't it? We've got another donation from Stan in the chat as well. Thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. And no way, you get your 3 C's audio. And yeah, my prediction was 84 points to 3 in favour of the Springboks. So Romania, if they get their 3 points here, that will help out for that. Oh, geez, he shanked that. That's gone to the right of the post, and that will be now remaining at 26 points to 0. Why go for the post? Consolation 3 points. Well, the worst thing is he's missed it. So now it's not even the easy 3 for them. And Valimza says, Keith there, they've taken the short kick. I believe it was a 22 dropout from the South Africans, only travelling about 2 metres, and now they have got the ball straight back in hand, passing out wide to Makazole Mapimpi, lined up early by Jason Tamani. Now wrestled down 30 metres out from the Springboks line. Trevor Nakanye being flipped over the top there, and the penalty does go the way of the Springboks for not rolling away. And bloody hell, says Sebastian, my bad, HD's audio there. And also we have got their objective, exceed 100 points, says Joe D. And Gun Amish Island is 2, but that's true, isn't it? Sorry, points differential-wise, they will be ahead, is what I was meaning. My apologies. Now, it is going to be another chance for the Springboks. Just out from the 22, South Africa for the win, says Okana there. And also, will Romania even come back out for the second half? Says, if they will certainly be fatigued, that is for sure. But I'm sure that there's still that fighting spirit in the Romanians. It's certainly going to be a learning experience for them throughout this game. But Bongi Manambi thrown in nicely, taken by Dwayne Vermeulen, 25 metres out from the line now. Now Manambi has gone down, well defended by Romania. I don't think this ball is available as of yet. Now Reinach gets in and gets the turnover, or gets the ball out, and it is going to be another penalty now in favour of the Springboks. We have got there 70 points to 10, says Lily. And also Kanan try coming up, says Rudy now. Looks like the Springboks once again will kick this one for the corner. 200-0, says Mark there. And also we've got 103-0, says Keith Smith. And Shah says, Nicolene, sadly we are unable to show match footage due to licensing, but if you go onto the Rugby World Cup website, you will be able to see exactly where you can watch, depending on whereabouts you are in the world. SABC, I believe, is the free option for South Africa. It just seems to be that their coverage cuts a little bit in and out, unfortunately, throughout this World Cup so far. Now, rolling ball again, Marco van Staden. He's been turned to his back. They haven't stopped him, though, on van Staden at number 6. That is the longest time it's taken for the Springboks to score a try. So in some regards, that's a bonus. But 16 minutes in now, 31 points to 0. Van Staden gets himself the try. We have got there, South Africa 99, Romania 3. And cricket score incoming, says Moonstone. And here comes 100 points for sure, says Andrik. And I mentioned about it before this game got underway. I said if the Springboks can start this match well for the first 15 minutes, we're having a double blow of the whistle here. They might actually be checking this to see whether or not it did break away from the initial rolling maul. Or are they checking the grounding of Marco van Staden? Just checking something for this one that's going to be over 100. But yeah, I said if they were able to score a lot of tries in the first 15 minutes, they more than likely will get on to the 100. And that does seem like where we are heading at the moment. Skova scored the fastest hat-trick, says Andrik. Although he's only got the 2 tries at this stage. And so loving this commentary. I hope you have some water nearby, says James. We certainly do. We have got the big bottle there. Okay. shifts on to 4 green. I think that this might be considered as no try due to the transfer. So pretty much because of John Klein being broken off and then the ball is switched, I think that this is going to be disallowed. Caught on the number 4 in front, so it's just ended up with, unfortunately for Jean Klein, he was just in the wrong place. So it's going to be a penalty in favour of the Romanians. So we'll go like this. Unfortunately for Van Staden, he does not score the try at this stage. Number 4 was in front, Jean Klein. We have got there a must be well record. I might as well regard, says a Moonstone. And I need Moody and Esterhazy to score some tries for my fantasy rugby, says Philippines. Yeah, it's a bit surprising that they've hardly touched the ball so far throughout the early stages, but I think that's because we've seen Reinach scoring and we've seen Damien Valimza scoring. So the ball hasn't really had to go out that far as of yet. Brilliant work from Damien Valimza to keep that ball in the field of play. And now the Springboks with another attacking opportunity. Makazole Mapimpi driving forward. I have a feeling that he's not going to be passing much throughout this game, Makazole Mapimpi. I don't know why I get that feeling. I just think that for this game, with the fact that there are so many gaps in the back line, I think that he'll use this as an opportunity to try and cement his jersey, which will mean he has to score a lot of points. Love the professional attitude you have. Oh, it's an ugly fall for Simeon Scoops, falling on his face. Now Maka van Staden ends up with the ball for the Springboks after the knock-on from Romania. Reinach getting shut down, getting fended off. And that's going to be the penalty to Romania. SABC 2 has let us down. There is no match for South Africa there. SABC seems to have let quite a few people down all throughout this Rugby World Cup, which is a bit, massive shame, seeing as if you're going to be a free-to-air provider, you've got to have it free-to-air, and you've got to be able to, I guess, have the ability of having so many people watching it. But Simeon Scoo falling awkwardly on that knee. I believe he is going to be all right, though, but now Romania will be kicking this one for the touchline. Getting it down towards the halfway line. Just book your tickets, Romania, says Bradley, and also we have got them my high school team. Would whoop Romania, says Moonstone. That's a dangerous 1-0 yellow card. It's his fault, says Jody. And Jean Klein couldn't even make the Irish squad, yet he walked into the South African squad, says Brian. And Lekkerbok, says the Beast. Now line out throw here for Kotukaru. The Romanians, that's going to be cleanly taken by Romania. That's well done, because the Springboks, of course, something that we've seen throughout their last couple of games, mainly when it's Franco Mostert, that is when they are normally very good at getting those line-out turnovers. Romania on the halfway line, getting a few extra metres from their rolling maul. Maka van Staden trying to strip the ball out of the hands of the Romanian forwards. Now Rupanu going for the kick behind. Vili Leroux is back there covering. He's 5 metres out from his own line now. Vili Leroux fires the ball back inwards to Grant Williams. He's decided he wants to have a burst of pace towards the line. Knock on, was it? No, he might have just got that kick away in time. And now a nice bump off from Simeon Scoo. Romania charging up the middle of the field. Missed tackle by Bongil Manumbi. Williams gets into the breakdown. Not quite able to turn it over. Romania finds an extra gear here by the looks of it. Trying to put a good attack just together. Would love to hear the commentary towards the end of the match. If it was actually vodka in his bottle, says Caitlin. It would be a very interesting one, wouldn't it? I feel like I'd just pass out on the desk if it was a full 1.5 of vodka. Now back across to the right-hand side. Kotukaru, 43 metres out. This is good face play from Romania, although now they've decided to kick the ball away, which is slightly unfortunate. It's gone high towards the touch line, just into touch there. Running out of space was Tavita Manumua, and it will be the line out for the South Africans. Amish, I went to another live stream on YouTube. Took it down, message violation of copyright. Good on you for being organised, says Mark in there as well. And we have also got there, why are you behind with the score? So currently it is 26 points to 0. Their try was disallowed on that last one of Marco van Staden. So that is why the try has not been added on here. And Romania doesn't stand a chance, says Michael. And watch it on TV Sports, learning Scossa, I think, says Jeffrey. Now it looks like we've got our first drinks break. That was 20 minutes. Where did that 20 minutes go? I swear we only just started and now we are already at the first drinks break. Romania, they'll look at that quarter and say that was not ideal. We need to get back into it. And the Springboks, they are on par to try and get themselves to 100 points in this one. And South Africa, or SABC2 is broadcasting. I'm watching it there, says John. So SABC2, ladies and gentlemen, a good option to be able to watch it by the sounds of it. And Ria said, good commentary lab. Thank you very much. But anyone who is new, while we have got this drinks break, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are only 250 away from 33,000. So if you would like to help us out, it is absolutely hugely appreciated. We are here for every game of the Rugby World Cup. We may not be wearing the suit for every game, but we will be here for every single match. And while we have got this stoppage as well, we might as well look at what is in the future of this Rugby World Cup. Looking through at next week's games, it is going to be Italy versus Uruguay. That is Thursday, New Zealand time, 3:45 a.m. We will be up covering that game on the channel. France versus Namibia, Argentina, Samoa. That could be quite an intriguing game after what we saw from the Samoans in their game up against Chile. Georgia versus Portugal, England versus Chile, South Africa, Ireland. Now, everyone will tell me that is the main event of this weekend, and I would agree with them. That is going to be an absolutely massive game between the two sides. Both of them going to be heading into that game with 2 wins from 2. Ireland on a 15-match winning streak, but the Boks, the defending champs. It will be must-see, and we will be covering it on the channel as well. Scotland versus Tonga, that's going to be a hard-hitting affair, and Wales versus Australia to close out the weekend, and there is a chance that both of those sides could have 2 wins from 2, depending on how Australia versus Fiji goes. But we've seen 4 tries so far throughout this match, ladies and gentlemen. Cobus Reinach has had 2. Makazole Mapimpi has got himself 1. And Damien Valimza, the man who has scored the other try in this match. We have got there, subscribe, says James. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. We have got there, do you see the Waikato drop goal stat that was broken, says Blindside? I saw that they managed to get themselves the win over Auckland, which was pretty phenomenal. For Waikato, they came in as huge underdogs for this game. We can watch the game. We don't have the decoder. Is SABC, does that require a decoder to watch? Or is it an online thing? Can someone please let me know? Because if so, if it's online, SABC is the best option. And rain now pouring down here, similar to what we saw for New Zealand versus Namibia. It's looking very wet, which does mean that with the slippery ball scenario, we may see the ball dropped a few more times, but there is also a chance that because they'll add a little bit more structure, it might help them out for the Romanians. And I think they'll actually prefer the wet conditions. They've just knocked the ball on, unfortunately, so that will not help them. And we have got there watching from Iraq again. Go the Bok, says Rian there. Now, sitting about 20 metres out from their own line here, the Springboks. Vili LaRue, in fact, it was Huacha Smith hits the ball up. Reinach now moving it back. SABC free, come on bro, you know better, says Lloyd. Is it not free? I've been told all throughout that it's a free option. SABC Plus is online streaming and free in South Africa, says Terrence. Okay, so not SABC being free, but SABC Plus is the free option out of those two. And we have got there, Ireland doesn't realise what's coming next weekend, says Edward. Tell you what, it's going to be an absolutely monumental clash of 2 gladiators in the rugby world. It's going to be a fun game to call, that is for sure, although I know that there'll be a lot of tension for that game. Of course, exercise game for the Boks, says Keith Smith. Also, it is free, says Brendan. But it's going to be slapped back by the Springboks. They have once again got their ball back at line-out time, slinging past from Reinach out in front of Grant Williams. Now past out wide to Makazole Mapimpi, goes for the chip and chase. He's got some decent pace as well to chase after it. The ball sits up with Simeon Skoo and cleaned up by Romania 5 metres out from their line. Esther Hazen with the counter-ruck for the Springboks. They've got the advantage and they almost just drove their way all the way to the try line. But it's going to be a penalty 5 metres out from the line. Cobus Reinach, he's sitting on 2 tries. He would have heavily considered taking that quick tap. But instead now, Vili LaRue will kick it for the corner. The game is being broadcast on SABC2. And this cup is coming back to South Africa, says Noel. And there as well. And South Africa to get absolutely trounced by Ireland next week. What does trounced mean? I assume that's beaten, but it's a very fancy way of saying it, isn't it? Let's take it slow, guys. 1 game at a time, says Jane. Now Bongyum Manumbi. Throwing the ball in, nicely taken by Dwayne Vermeulen. And now 10 metres from the line. Starting to rotate a little bit with that rolling ball. They will be a little bit more cautious here, the Springboks, after that last try off a rolling ball was disallowed. Although this one now marching forward towards the line. And Manumbi reaches out just short of the try line, but it's another penalty advantage. Reinach for his hat-trick. He is going to be turned to his back, and they are going back for another penalty. I haven't paid mine in 4 years, says Brendan. And South Africa is winning. They certainly are. 26 points to 0 at the moment after 23 minutes. They were scoring around that point a minute. In fact, they were scoring at 2 points a minute in the earlier stages of this game, but it has been about, I think it's about 16 minutes since the South African try, or maybe not quite that much, but still a little bit below that, about 14 minutes since the last try. Unable to watch it live, but I am living for this commentary and the spicy clapbacks from the Passionate Rugby Choir, says Denzel there. But we are here for every game of the Rugby World Cup, so anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are now only 200 away from that 33,000 mark. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Longi Manambi, Oxnashan, Trevor Nakanye, the front row. They're actually the three who came off the bench in the last match up against Scotland. The late change of Vincent Cox's injury meant that Nakanye moves into the starting lineup, and it will be Franz Malherbe who is coming off the bench, and he was probably looking forward to his week off, Malherbe, but now he had to put on the kit and get back to work. Now big scrum from the Springboks, and Reinach goes himself. Hat-trick for Cobus Reinach. And he is going to be absolutely loving this game. The question is, now that he's scored 3, push him out to the wing, give Grant Williams a chance at 9. Is that something the Springboks would do? Probably not, but Reinach will be absolutely loving this. Anytime the ball comes free, he's pretty much got a free carry of just going before, like pretty much 2 meters out, just picking the ball up, driving over Cobus Reinach with a hat-trick. The first of the Rugby World Cup as well, I should mention. Ireland and the Springboks are really good, says Jody. And also, Amish, you are more fun, says Goldberg, and 31-0, says Shana. And now the kicking option for Damien Belimza. It's 26 metres out. 75% chance that this one goes over for Damien Belimza, and it certainly does. Has got the kick, and 33 points to 0 now for the Springboks. And 3.5 minutes too late to break the record, says Ian Foster. And please, Springbok, remove the mask. Because everyone can see that you are NFL football players, says Solo. I think the Springboks, I was going to say they're a bit tougher, but then I know that that will offend any Americans. And there, but the Springboks, they're certainly a physical bunch. And what? Says Jody, also nice game, Bok, says Jan. And there as well. And Cobus Reinach, a try-scoring machine. Reinach scored quickest hat-trick in World Cup against Canada in 2019, says Stephen Marks. And now, Dwayne Vermeulen again. He just throws his body on the line. Every time he makes contact with the opposition, you worry that big Dwayne's not going to get up, but he does keep on returning to his feet. Reinach now. Kicking the ball down the field. His clearances have been fantastic. Cobus Reinach in this game, getting massive meters. Not even well. We don't use padding and armour, says Francois. South Africans are much tougher than Kiwis. Americans, says Ian Foster. And Bok is on fire, says Nikita. They certainly are here. Already 5 tries. Be score. Is that the first hat-trick, says Stan Paulson? It is. So far in the try-scoring tally, it is Bundy Aki sitting at the bunch, or sitting at the top of the bunch. That was not straight from Romania. He has got himself 4 tries. We have Goodell. I'm thinking you need to get licensed for footage. Great commentary, says Butterfly. And yeah, if there was any way of getting the licensing for the Rugby World Cup games for less than a few $1 million, we certainly would have looked at that as an option. And Ireland South Africa is going to be a hell of a game, says Gary there. And we also got there, where can we get the link to watch live match, says Marley. So it is on SABC2 as your best option if you are in South Africa. And NFL players that wrap themselves in sponges, helmets and cushions can handle rugby, says Brian. It is currently still pouring rain. Andre Estes, and we have hardly seen him throughout the first half, and 3 more tries before halftime. Please, South Africa, says Eugene. Now Reinach. It's gone down in the front row again. With the slipperiness underfoot, and not on SABC2, says Judy. It seems to be that some people are watching it on SABC2 and some people aren't able to watch it. So did they have it on it for some people, and then other people it's not available? And love our Bok. It's a bit of commentary. Thank you. My nerves are all over the place, says Lindsay. And also we have good there. A few workmates of Box. And the chat says Blues Nate. And also not on SABC2. Because I know that someone said they were watching it earlier on. How must we watch the game if it's not on SABC2? I'd assume it was supposed to be on SABC somewhere along the lines. Or the other option, of course, is Super Sport. But that is a paid subscription. So true, says Shante. And now the Box. Good scrum from Romania. But Dwayne Vermeulen able to get down. It is on SABC2. I don't know. It seems like some people are watching it on it, some people aren't watching it on it. Now Reinach, back to Damien Willemse with the kick in behind, playing the territory game here, the Springboks. Simeon Sku at the back though with a nice big boot downfield, huge kick from him. South Africa losing the territory battle on that occasion. We have good there, welcome to South Africa, nothing works properly, says Edward. And also, it's not on SABC. And then the very next comment is, it is on SABC. Then the next comment is on, it's not on SABC. It seems like a 50-50 occasion for SABC. And now, Bongyum Banambi. Another line-out throw here. And it's gone through the hands of Marvin Ori. Romania now have the ball, but it's knocked on by them also. Now South Africa with the penalty advantage inside of their, their knock-on advantage inside of their 22. Andre Esterhuizen does put the boot downfield. Simeon Skewers at the back to clean that one up. Going for the banana kick now. Nicely taken by Villy Leroux at the back near the 22. Andre Esterhuizen chasing after this one. Running onto that one beautifully was the number 11 for Romania, Nicholas Onutu. Now back into the pocket for Simeon Sku. He does seem to have the predominant kicking role for Romania throughout this game. Oh, Villy Leroux has dropped that ball at the back and it has been knocked on. He thinks that it went backwards, but that slippery ball is starting to become a problem for both of these sides. 3 handling errors from the Springboks so far throughout this game compared to the one of Romania. And we have got there, enjoy, says Lavan. And also we have got there, however, it's kind of cropped, says Cherry Love. Online, SABC Plus, says Goldberg. And also it's on SABC. But if you have open view, you won't be able to watch it. Or so I read, says Monique. And what's your prediction if we meet you guys Kiwis in the quarterfinals, says Edward? I will say at the moment New Zealand's going to have to improve a lot if they want to take on the Springboks for the quarterfinal fixture. SABC has many adverts. You probably scrolled through during one, says Francois. Now 33 points to nil at the moment for the Romanians. They are down by that 33, but they are in a good attacking position. First chance now for them with a set play inside of the Springboks half. And we are 30 minutes into the game. They have been able to slow down the scoring of the Springboks. It's raining blessing onto the box now. Now, scrum available at the back now for Romania. Will be the captain, Chirika, I should say. See there, Manu Mua having to join the breakdown to protect that ball for Romania. Rupanu going across now. It will be Andre Gorin. Held up by Kanan Moody as well as bigger Dwayne Vermeulen. Springboks rush defence working well at the moment to stop Romania from making those extra metres. Bongyum Manambi, big drive and tackle from the skipper. And now the ball available. I think it was a knock-on from Romania, then from South Africa, although the South African one hasn't been noted. So now South Africa chance, and they will go back now for the original knock-on. And we have got there now how you view on SABC2, says Mario. So for myself in New Zealand, I am watching on Sky Sport 1. I'm not actually too sure how SABC does work in terms of how to watch the games, everything along those lines. But I know that there will be highlights on YouTube after the match does take place on the World Rugby YouTube channel. They are uploading them pretty much straight after the game. So anyone that doesn't have the option of watching live, that is a very good option if you do want to catch the highlights of the game. But 9 minutes remaining in this first half. Bongyum Manambi. Now he's got himself the line-out throw. We have got there, we are crushing Romania. And go the box, says Nikita in there as well. Our last line out for the Springboks. It didn't work. Went straight through the hands of Marvin Ori. This time, Dwayne Vermeulen able to hang on to it nicely. And now they look to get that rolling ball moving forward again. Patiently and methodically moving their way towards that 22-metre line. Looks like Reinach very close to taking it off the back. He goes to the short side. Little looping play from Graham Williams. Ball back on the inside taken by Alexandru Gordas. The two halfbacks give each other a high five. That play didn't quite work. A little loop around from Williams, but he wasn't touched. And South Africa need to continue to push to get that 103 plus. Says Caitlin, I reckon the Springboks will have France in the quarterfinals. Says Brian there. And Romania have adapted well to the pace of the game. They were left eating dust the first 15 minutes. Yeah, they've actually managed to slow down the box scoring, although that will not help. Line out once again lost by Romania. Chance now for Juaja Smith. He slips on the halfway line, back up to his feet. Was almost held in contact. Oxneshe, big run for Valwasa. Has to try and slow him down, which is not easy to do with the Ox charging forward now. Back into the pocket to Damien Balimza. Another high kick looks like will be Makazole Mapimpi chasing after this one. Nicely taken at the back by Simeon Skoo. The ball does pop out almost loose from Romania, but the piercing run around the side. Brilliant work here from the Romanians, and they move up to now 40 metres out. Looks like Philly LaRue getting bumped off there. Kicked forward by Rupanu. And it was the number 12, Gutaniak, who did have the first initial run. South Africa inside of their 22 has to kick it into touch. And that'll be 42 metres out from the line now. Romania with the line out. Nice breakaway from Romania, says side to canvas. Yeah, it was in the end Taylor Gutaniak who was able to get that slight break. It was off a kick from Damien Valimza. Both chasers in Mapimpi and Moody. Neither of them quite got there in time, which then allowed Romania, after they went to the breakdown, to pierce through a massive gap for South Africa. Someone will be looking at that and going, why was that gap there? And that's what I talked about before this game. For the South Africans, yes, they may be likely to win this game by quite some margin, but they are also still going to be looking at where they can learn from in this game, where they can improve for their game coming up against the Irish for the Box. But now Andre Estes and sling a pass out to Kane and Moody. Does the chip in behind. It's being chased by Grant Williams. He is a quick man, but the ball is quicker just. And it does now go back to where it was kicked from. Fiji and Japan are also going to be vicious today, says Edward. And don't mention Robbery coming face-to-face. Robber on Monday. Even pulled a gun at me. I lunged at him. He swung himself through burglar bars. Best gymnast move I've ever seen, Cape Town, says Goldberg. So I'm glad to hear that you are safe, though, Goldberg, in that encounter. And danger signs for Romania. We haven't even had the opportunity to start grinding Romania, says Stan. Yeah, the Springboks, the last time that we did see them score a try was Reinach. That was around that 24th minute mark. It's been another 10 since we've seen another try from the South Africans. With that rain, I think that it is hurting them a little bit in terms of that free-flowing rugby that they would like to play here. Just with the little stoppages. Give these lads a Super Rugby contract, says Blues Nate. But yeah, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated, you all being here. We have good there. Why ruin a good game of rugby? Says Nazia. I didn't see that comment, wherever it is. And also, we're absolutely the Highlanders. I could use some of these Romanian players, says Ian Foster. Now, it's going to be fired across to the right for the Romanians. A little bit of football skills there. And as your scoreboard is wrong, says Burning Lash. Is it? Is it not 33-0 at the moment? Unless there's another try right now. Could be the case. But Oxneshe gives it off to Bongi Omanambi out on the wing. Nice bit of work from him. Out to the left-hand side. That's a knock-on from Jean Klein. And now advantage for Romania. They move up to the halfway line here. Big attack and run, but doesn't quite find the man that they were after. Valvasa, he actually beat almost the most defenders in round number 1 for the fly halves throughout the Rugby World Cup. The straightening run from Gorin. We'll get their book for the win, says Chanika. And also, it's my pleasure, says Sebastian. To Jodie, great commentary. You and yourself a sub. Thank you, says Stormzy. Or Stormy, thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. Now 45 metres from the line, Romania. And they've got to have some credit here. They have not given up. That looked a little bit high from Jean Klein. I think the crowd weren't too happy with it. Simeon Skoo puts the ball high, cross to Manu Moore, who goes up for it, but Vili LaRue tries to slap it back. Manu Moore has been able to clean it up, but will be just about. That is brilliant lead strength there from the big man. I believe he knocked it on, though, as it went into Vili LaRue. So they are going back for the initial penalty in favour of the Romanians. And bro, you are a lifesaver. I appreciate you from South Africa, because it's not on SABC much. I love to you, bro. Says KB. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciate it. And like I mentioned, we are here for every game of the Rugby World Cup. So anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are only 3 minutes away from halftime. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, we are almost at 32,900. And hopefully we can get there by the halftime mark. But Romania, they will be kicking this ball for the corner now. Going to get it as close as they can. And that is a brilliant kick from Simeon Skoo, really working well at the back. Oh, that is shoulder to the head of the Romanian player. I believe the mitigation is the fact that he was crouching down a little bit more, but we have seen that given as a yellow card before in this Rugby World Cup. And we have got there, this is not a moon landing, this is the real deal. It's fake, says Malebo. I assume he's saying the fact that we haven't got the game, but yeah, it's just the live commentary. On this one, nicely claimed by the captain, Tarika. It is knocked backwards, but now big chance. 4 metres out from the line here for Romania. Can they score their first try? Although South Africa over the ball. I think it's Oxnashare. No, it's not. He's there. Who that? It is Dwayne Vermeulen who manages to get that turnover. Should Romania remain playing soccer instead of rugby, says Andrik? I think Romania, they might have an argument there at the line out because he is saying that his hand was slapped and that is why that ball did go out as quickly as it did. We don't get to see a replay of it, but the way that it popped out, it did look a little bit weird. We have got the super sticker from Caitlin as well. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated all your support on the channel. What we will quickly do is we will go like this and like this so that we can see the super sticker. It does just come up as super sticker on the screen, but I can see it. On the other one, following your commentary from Spain, says it was Lorraine, so thank you very much. Brit, it's fake. Okay, says Malebo. Whatever it is, he is very animated that it is fake. It is a heart from Caitlin as well with some balloons. Very nice of you, Caitlin. A Romanian rugby team was assembled by 4th grade student. Just adding numbers on the field, no defence, no discipline. Such a bunch of Roman pizza, says Solo. So the argument to that is, so why haven't South Africa got more than 33 points on the board then? If they started so well, what has made them slow down? Surely Romania are doing something slightly right in this case, you know? Like, at the end of the day, though, South Africa, they have looked very strong throughout this game. Billy LaRue, it is absolutely pouring down. Has anyone scored off a penalty yet, says AJ2. The South Africans have not. Romania attempted to go for a kick off the penalty, but they missed. Unfortunately for them, I'm glad we are wearing our proper green, says Pinky. We can just hear the rain absolutely bucketing down. Quite a few of the Springbok supporters in the front row have decided that they are better off going up into the stands rather than being in the front row for this one. Nice work from Hatig to run forward. Ball pops out and Romania, quick hands. Going to the captain now, Tarika. And it does seem like there's a decent chance for the Romanians to score themselves a try before the end of this first half, although the counter-attack from South Africa could be, of course, just around the corner. It's going to be a knock-on the ground. And I believe that's going to be half-time, ladies and gentlemen. 33 points to 0 in favour of South Africa. Go Bokwe behind you, says Lazel. And also we have got their Dominator team to get just one in, says AJ2. And Blood, Sweat and Rain, says Edward in the chat as well. And as a South African, credit to Romania, says Stretch. Yeah, I think that they've done pretty decently with how this match started. We've got to remember they were 26-0 down after 9 minutes, I think it was, in this game. Or somewhere around there. Is that correct? Yeah, about 9 minutes into this game, they were 26-0 down. So only one more try being scored in 30 minutes by South Africa throughout the rest of that first half. We will bring up some statistics for you lovely ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who is new, like I mentioned, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are on the road to 33,000 subscribers and we are getting extremely close to making it there. So if you do want to help us, it is greatly appreciated. We are here for every game of the Rugby World Cup. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Looking at the top match leaders at the moment. The most tackles have been made by Christian Chirika, leading from the front for the Romanians. Most running meters goes to Kobus Rainak, as well as the most tries. Was able to get himself 3 throughout that first half. Jean Klein is the only player that I see with a registered offload, but of course when RG Snyman comes off the bench, that number is definitely going to change. And Kobus Rainak, most carries crossing the gain line. Marco van Staden is actually updated to be him at the top with 8 tackles as well. And this one, let's make 33, guys. He's wearing a suit. Come on, show respect and likes too, says Mikhail. Yeah, so anyone who hasn't already, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Looking at the stats, 359 running meters for the Springboks throughout that first half compared to the 104 that we have seen from Romania. 20 defenders beaten by South Africa compared to the 11 of the Romanians. Please, let's get it right. There's no need to be nasty. There's no need to look down on Romania. Thank you, says Molly K. in there as well. Yeah, I feel like Romania have still held their own throughout some of this matchup, which is great to see for those smaller sides. And, maybe a second try or a second half try could be around the corner. It's not playing the live stream, says Princess. Yeah, sadly, due to licensing, we are unable to show any match footage or audio, but we will be doing the play-by-play commentary all throughout the second half as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We've got plenty more games coming up, including Ireland versus South Africa just around the corner. It's going to be an epic one. Thoroughly looking forward to seeing how it goes. Starla said, I love this commentator in there as well. Thank you very much. Super commentary, Hamish, says Eric. But also, a stat to mention from that first half, Romania's set piece has been struggling. Their scrums, they are 100%, which is actually higher than the South Africans. South Africa only sitting 2 from 3 for their set piece off the scrum. But at line-out time, 3 out of 8 won by the Romanians with a 37.5% success rate. South Africa's, there's a little bit shaky, to be honest, compared to what they'd like to have. They would have liked to have it a bit higher, but it's currently sitting 77.8%, winning the 7 from 9. We have got the Brian while listening to your commentary. Life can't get much better, says Gary. And also, America should watch us win, says Hazel. And the score could have been much higher if it wasn't for the rain, says Mornay Lagrange. I mean, yes, if it was dry, it would have been useful for the South Africans, but we still know that South Africa have the try-scoring prowess to be able to score in the rain. And, it's one of those ones that, does that mean if it is raining in one of their playoff games, that will be a big problem? Or will it be the fact that South Africa maybe they just weren't quite able to find that clinical last pass that they did need? Because we did see in the first about 15 minutes, there were a lot of runs coming from number 9 and number 10, Kobus Ranak, Damian Valimza. But then after that, like we've seen Grant Williams, I think he's touched the ball twice, one of which he was searching for the ball a long way off his wing. The other, he got pushed into touch straight away. Kane and Moody, he's been very quiet. I would have almost forgot he was out there on the field. Anyone who knows how the rain will develop throughout the match, says Christian, it is supposed to be pouring all throughout this game. We'll watch this commentator till the end, says Starla down, an amazing commentary in the chat as well there. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciated. You guys all being here. Penalties conceded. We've seen 8 against Romania, 5 against the Springboks. And then the tackle success, we have seen an 82% tackle completion from South Africa, 70% from the Romanians. Only 410 likes and 3,000 viewers. Hit that like button and subscribe, ladies and gents. Says bystander. Yeah, be sure to hit that subscribe button and also leave a like on this live stream. We have got a donation from Franz Smith. Thank you very much, mate. Good stuff, Hamish. Missed the pointy collar shirt, though. Yeah, I did switch it because that one, it was absolutely massive, that collar. As you guys will know, who saw us last weekend, love the commentary, says Cecil. Thank you very much. And Bok understood the assignment, says Nikita there. And delicious score, says Jessica. It's not a great squad for us, says Nazir. Yeah, currently sitting 33 points to 0. See, that's the thing, though. Some people have said that this is one of the best Springbok squads that they have brought into a cup in terms of depth. Now, of course, losing Malcolm Marx, massive hit to the Springboks. Great commentary, says Endless. Thank you very much, mate. And Go the Box says Sakeli in there as well. So we have seen 3 tries from Kobus Ranak. For anyone wondering who was able to score them, Makazole Mapimpi has also got himself 1, and Damian Valimza, the last try scorer for the South Africans. Only way I can watch my home in my home country, all the way from China. Big ups for this live, says Dean. And also I have school in a few hours and I'm still awake, says Chronic. And of course there are a few more games just around the corner that we are also covering on the channel. Anyone know if Eben's injury is bad? It is not. He is going to be back for the Irish game, is what the sound of it is. And thanks for making the best commentary. Enjoy rugby all, says Hanale. And also we have good there what means 70 South African rand in euro. I'm not sure of the complete conversion for, I think South African rand 70 is about $6 something New Zealand. So I'm not sure what a euro is compared to New Zealand though, is the only thing. It might be, what is a euro in terms of the conversion? I have not really dealt in euros a huge amount, to be honest. And that shirt was from the 70s. Hamish says, Charles and commentator with a tie, love it, says a Robin there. And also that we have got Go Bok, says Colour in My Rainbow. And Lolwell says Joe D. And also South Africa is going to win, says Ferris. And it's storming over North Europe. Today might be the end of summer. And the sad thing is, if that Fiji versus Australia game is heavily affected by rain, it may mean that we don't get to see quite the free-flowing rugby game that everyone was anticipating, but it's still going to be an absolutely awesome one to watch. We are covering it on the channel. The game straight after that, it is Japan versus England. That game also going to be live here ladies and gentlemen. I think it's going to be 77-3. Says Happen Beast. I think that for Romania, they missed their chance of getting their 3 points. So I think if they get any points in this game, it's going to be probably a try, to be honest. And a wet ball affecting things, says Vincent, a little bit, yeah. It's relatively wet out there on the field, although South Africa, they've just had a few errors in that later stage of that second half that they just, they didn't quite play like they did throughout their first 20 minutes. And I'm wondering what the sub department is going to look like for the second half, because of course we know that South Africa have gone with the 2 halfbacks coming off their bench, also available. Rather than Trevor Nakania, it will be the man at number, they've just shown Rapanu. He hasn't had a single carry throughout this game compared to Kobus Reinach, who has had 7. But he's made the 5 tackles alongside Rapanu. Hat trick. Kobus Reinach. But yeah, instead it's Franz Malherbe at number 18. Aji Snyman, I look forward to seeing him make his way out onto the field. I believe that would be for Jean Klein. Then alongside that, they've got Jesper Visa, Jaden Hendrickse, Faf de Klerk, and Jesse Creel. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring on Hendrickse at halftime or at the start of the second half for Kobus Reinach, seeing as he's already got himself the 3 tries in this match. And I wonder whether or not maybe Jesse Creel moves into the midfield, Kanan Moody drops out to that right wing, and Grant Williams also makes his way off the field. That might be what the Springboks look at, or at least that is what I would consider doing in this game. Unless, of course, you do just leave Grant Williams in and maybe move him to the 9 and then bring Jesse Creel on and do that same kind of thing. Just get out of the group. That's the most important thing. Exactly right. At the end of the day, you want to make sure you are making your way out of this group, because there are some pretty tough sides throughout it. And of course, being ranked number 1 and being ranked number 2 in that group is ideal, because you get a little bit of an idea of who you are going to be going up against. How is 33-0 not enough? Says John, I think it's more of the case of, because they had 26 points to nil after 9 minutes, a lot of people would have liked to see the Springboks continue that momentum throughout the rest of the first half. But it is credit to Romania with the way that they've been able to put the Springboks under pressure throughout the rest of that first half. Simeon Skoo at the back has been a bit of a rock for them and has been kicking very nicely as well. And we have got there as well, not so easy to use the line with the wet ball, says Vincent. That is true, although I still would like to think that the Springboks, with the skill, with the class of their players, they would have been able to do a little bit more. And I feel like the coaches would look at that the same way as well. I can't wait to watch the highlights. I must watch the game through my neighbour's window, says Daniel. And proudly South Africa can go the box, says Nawabi there. It looks like the neighbour quite animated in the changing shed with the South Africans here. I believe that is due to them not quite taking their opportunities throughout that first half. Rassi and Neighbour, a very clever plan in place. Siambongi are leaders. Says Robin, and go South Africa, you're doing good. Instead of the win-lose-draw poll, let's have a suit, not suit poll, please. Says Jeff, or to be fair, we didn't have the suit on for yesterday's live streams. Today we have got the suit on for the 3 games, but yeah, a couple of the other live streams this weekend we have not had the suit on. Are you looking forward to the big match of the tournament? One South Africa versus Ireland, says Monet Lagrange. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic game, that is for sure. And it's going to be a hard one to predict, because I know that both of these sides will go into the game with momentum. Ireland currently on a massive winning streak. South Africa getting themselves that massive win over the ABs, the biggest losing margin for the All Blacks in history. Also managing to get themselves big wins over Wales, alongside getting that big win over Scotland last week. Ref is awful. The team was making all the decisions. That should have been a yellow, says Binton. I assume you're talking about the Jean Klein when where he made head contact. We have seen them given as yellow cards in this Rugby World Cup already. South African working in UK at present. Can I donate, says Jane? I think so. I don't think there's a donation geographically like limiter type thing. But yeah, it is that the little dollar sign thingy in the chat in the bottom corner. Of course, all donations are hugely appreciated, but not mandatory. I will mention we do this because we absolutely love to do them, and also because we get to chat to you guys all throughout these games. It always means that it's an awesome atmosphere, and South Africa is going to win by far. Let's go, says Bertie Roo. But I should also mention that any donations that go to the channel do actually go back into the channel as well, in terms of being able to improve the content for you guys in the future. Let's go, Kiwi Lad. Says Blues Nate. Just making an observation. And I need to be a deuce, says Finton. What's that one for? Oh, for me, saying that it could have been a yellow card. Or somewhere else in the chat. Is that to me, Finton? I agreed with you. And the bike is the best. Says Petrus, and the contact was on the shoulder, Hamish, and then wrote up, no head-to-head contact whatsoever. Irish gets just trying to get whatever advantage they can, says Charles. Damn these streams, says Trinity. Yeah, I do apologise for not being able to show the match footage. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we get taken straight off YouTube. And trust me, I've found that out the hard way multiple times, and we haven't even shown match footage. We have been copyright struck 4 times in the past. And we have got there, I think a lot of South Africans will remember the time with no TV and only commentary. You bring that, Hamish, keep it up, says Kurt. And our man Box will win this World Cup and the next 3 in a row, says KB. And also follow the Kiwi Lads on Instagram with _Kiwi_Lads. Thank you very much, bystander. I completely forgot about our Instagram, but be sure to check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I think we currently got 60 followers on there, mainly because I haven't made any posts whatsoever. But if you do flick us a message on there, I will be replying to every single one of them on that Kiwi Lads Instagram. So let me know what you're thinking of this game, who you think will be winning the World Cup, everything along those lines. Be sure to check it out. Easy win for us. We are taking this World Cup, says Pasika. And also we have got there, you would have aced the radio scene, Hamish, says Charles. And as well, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. No further up. Hamish says Finton. And yeah, well, the Box beat the Irish guys. What do you think, says Stull? I think from what they did in that first 15 minutes of this half, they will have a very good chance. But then saying that, if it's a wet game, I think it's going to be a lot closer, because we've just seen here only the one try coming in the last about 25 minutes of that half, if not maybe the last 30 minutes of that half. The Springboks have had dominance in this game at times, but just haven't quite been able to get over the try line that little bit more. So I think throughout the second half, they'll be looking to really hone in on their craft. You're good. Should have been a politician, says Robin. Just look at our schoolboy rugby as well. So much young talent, says KB. It was radio, love Hamish, great commentary, says Goldberg. And also, that's my people, go the Box, says Marion. And the chat as well. So RG Sneyman, he has made his way onto the field. I believe he won't be the only change that the Springboks have made in this game. I think that they would have made the changes in some of the halfback positions. Oh, Dion Fourie is now on the field as well. That is for Makazole Mapimpi, and Fourie going to be playing as a hooker in this game. Romania crying after this says, Ethan, I don't think they will be. I think that they'll praise themselves for how they were able to defend after that first onslaught from the South Africans. And at the end of the day, anyone who felt that Romania were going to keep this game extremely close, I think would have been pretty optimistic. But at the end of the day, Romania, they are ranked a lot lower. If the Springboks didn't win this game by a big margin, that would have been more concern than if Romania were beaten by a large margin. So at the end of the day, I still think it's a decent performance from the Romanian. Faf de Klerk just putting some water on a ball, warming up, getting ready. How long is halftime? It is about to be over, ladies and gentlemen. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are only less than 80 away from hitting the 33,000. So if you do want to help us out, it is greatly appreciated. Second half now underway. It will be Romania kicking off from right to left here. And it's going down towards Willy LaRue. In fact, no, it's going to be the big man, Dwayne Vermeulen, out near the touchline. Kobus Reinach now rolling the ball back. We can stop, we must finish them. Says Carol, and after halftime, can we watch the game, says Therese. Sadly, due to licensing, if we show any match footage or audio, we do get taken straight down off YouTube. Nice run from Romania. Over the ball, though. Dion Fourie, first injection into the game. He's been on the field for 30 seconds already. Gets himself that turnover. We have got the only thing that can stop us is injury. Watch the move with Dion Fourie. So soon, here it comes, says Ockert. But Dion Fourie has already got more turnovers in the breakdown than Bongi or Manambi had throughout that first 40 minutes. And he's been on the field for 30 seconds. Now kick downfield from the Springboks, and now we get to see this Dion Fourie line out as well. His first chance, currently sitting at 7 from 9 for this match for the line out department. But RG Sneyman, he is one of the changes that they also made. The back line is identical to what they did have in the first half. We have got there SABC Plus. There's plenty of adverts though, says Jonathan. Now, it will be Dion Fourie. Throw this one into the front. Nicely taken by Jean Klein. That is 1 from 1 now for Fourie. Looking to get this rolling ball going at the back. Now, that is something that he does find himself slotting in for the Stormers quite a bit, is actually being that next offloading option from Joseph Dweber at the back of a rolling ball. Now, Andre stays in the crash baller. Does move his way towards 15 metres out from the line. Kaden Moonen standing next to the breakdown. He won't get the ball there. RG Sneyman now with the bump off. Reinach Going to Dwayne Vermeulen, who takes the ball well behind him, does roll the wrong way, so almost ended up giving up possession. Now Fori, 5 metres out from the line here for the Romanians on defence. They want to make sure they are getting it right. RG Sneyman finds the offload to Estays, who flicks the ball out the back. Reinach got selfish and does get driven into touch now. They will go back for the initial knock-on. We have got there, South Africa. South Africa must mop with these Romanians. Romania is rubbish, says Cesar. Once again, from earlier on, South Africa should win this game by a lot. At the end of the day, I always talk about it. There's no point bad-mouthing the smaller nations, because if you want the game of rugby to grow, you have to support those sides that are making their way up in the rankings or are playing rugby, because without them, the funding goes, you start losing money, you lose an audience, which then leads to the downfall of rugby. So support the smaller nations rather than criticising them is a good way to live by. But now 5 minutes out from the line, driving nicely here, the rolling ball for the South Africans. I think it's Fori who's in the middle. Have they been stopped there? No, someone's been able to get the clear grounding through the middle. And I think it looks like Jean Klein, or is it? No, it's going to be underneath him. Dion Fori is the man who gets the try. So he is already, in the time that he's been on the field, he has got himself a try and he has got himself a turnover. He's had a very good start to this World Cup as a hooker. We have got there in the final score, says Renier. My prediction at the start of the game was 84 points to 3 in this contest. And Dion Fori has got his 3, says Cited. And also we have got there the rain has stopped, says Morne Lagrange. And also we have got there, geez, people, why rubbishing Romania? Get a life, says Okert there. And not live, just talking, says Gerhard. I should make that my Instagram bio. Not live, just talking. It'll be a good way of describing it. But Dion Fori, brilliant work from him. Now, Damien Valimza lining up another kick. A flanked de hooker, says Blues Nate. And good to see Chile and Portugal, says Robin. Yeah, I felt like Chile and also Portugal in their 2 games actually did pretty decently overall. And Chile looked like a promising young side for their first ever Rugby World Cup. Valimza starting that one a bit too far out to the right-hand side, so that will miss, remaining the score at 33 points to 0. Yes, I agree. We all started at the bottom. Well said, Amish. We show respect always. Says Pixie Dust. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, these smaller nations, like, they aren't going to be tremendous in 1 year. They aren't going to be tremendous in 10 years, you know? It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. But as they continue to grow, like, the sport of rugby in their countries will grow as well. And then that's a whole new market that you're able to go into. Great commentary. Says Colour in My Rainbow. I love the commentary and it's great. Says Nazier. And also we have got their Kiwi Lads bio talks a lot. Yeah, that pretty much summarises me. Covers Reinach across to Jean Klein. 38 points to 0, I should say, rather than the 33. It's going to be kicked high now from Reinach. And how many minutes are left? At the moment, we have still got another 35 minutes remaining. I think that's going to be Charuka has got that ball back for the Romanians. Hatig drives hard at the line. Nurupanu goes off to Valvasa. Now, Rupanu, he didn't get to have a sniping run of his own throughout that first half. That may have been where Romania was struggling just there a little bit, although they were using their forwards quite nicely. Big tackle made there by RG Sneyman, as well as Trevor Nakanye. Now back across to this left-hand side. Valvasa sold the dummy, looked for the offload, but it bounces up for the South Africans. Now Reinach decides to pass it short to Damien Valimza, flicks it out the back. Williams unable to gather. And it is now going to be a knock-on against the Romanians. They will go back for the scrum. We have got there, you're washed, bro, says Huntsman. I do often try and shower, yes. We have got there some filthy passes being invented by the Box. Says Cited Romania is a great nation, but the Box are just better rugby players. No offense, Romania. Says Dale, the chat makes it. Says Robin, and also we have got there, it goes till 80 minutes. And also thanks for the education and sportsmanship. Says a big V, but now Kivas Reinach making his way from the field. And that is going to be for Jaden Hendricks, an overthrown line out there. From not straight throw. Unfortunately, Romania not quite getting that one lined up the way that they needed. Our bot will be making history this World Cup, says Stormy. 500 like, let's see if we can get it to at least 700, says Okert. Yeah, anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, we have got every game of the Rugby World Cup we are doing live on the channel. We are also only 63 away from 33,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us get there, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free to do, and you will also get notified when we go live on the channel. We've got Australia, Fiji just around the corner alongside England taking on the Japanese. Yes, I have subscribed, and so the rest of the Rugby 11 fanatics will follow, says Denzel. Scrum feed now for the Springboks. 25 metres out from their own line. Rain now gives the penalty to Romania. He had to think about that for an extremely long time. He was looking at it going, who went down? And then went Romania's penalty, collapsing the scrum penalty against the Springboks. Was watching the game on the telly, but we have block out time. Here says Adrian, and also the donation from Stan Paulson. Thank you very much once again, mate. Hugely appreciated. Romania get a clap from the crowd as they are going to be kicking for the corner once more. This will be about 7 metres out from the try line now. We have got there subscribed. Says Werner, thank you very much, mate. And subscribe, bro, says Daniel. Now Romania with Kojukaru. Lineouts won so far, 3 for Romania. They have lost 5 of their own lineouts. Can they get this one right? They certainly can, as it's uncontested by the Springboks. But now, 5 metres from the line, Romania get it back to Kojukaru, who was waiting for it at the back. Oxnashare hanging on. They're driving them sideways, breaking inwards, still getting pushed towards the touchline. No one knows where the ball is at the moment. But I think Romania have managed to get it out the back of their breakdown. Now Rupanu going off now to the captain. Romania can shift this one wide. They could find themselves in a very good position on the field, seeing Andre Estes and yelling that they need more men on their right-hand side. Kojukaru, very evident in the last few breakdowns. Around the side of the breakdown here, Dwayne Vermeulen, penalty one for player leaving their feet for the Romanians. Subscribe, can I do it again? Says Stull, if you are subscribed, then if you click subscribe again, it will unsubscribe. So best not to click it twice. I feel sorry for Romania. I hope they get one try. Says Kalmac. And also we have got there, some people don't understand how difficult it is to have good rugby in an amateur environment where rugby is a game and not a job you can live from. Also the exposure of a player to the world's help, says Mikhail. Yeah, the perfect example is the Chilean number 9. I've been hugely praising Torrealba throughout this Rugby World Cup because he is one of those players that no one knew really before this Rugby World Cup. And I honestly feel that he's earned himself a contract with a big side after this World Cup because of what he's been able to do. But you look at Chile for an example, 3 of their players play outside of Chile, and most of their team have full-time jobs outside of rugby to go alongside it. So they had to quit those jobs to go to the World Cup. And, you know, one day I hope that they do end up receiving enough funding that they are able to do it as a full-time career. The Springboks now 45 metres out from the line. Andre Estes and going back across to Damien Willems. A nice running from Villy Larue. Gets it out wide to Marcus Zoli. Mapimpi breaks through one tackle. Now cutting back inwards. And like I mentioned, he won't be passing throughout this whole game. I can guarantee you that. Stop, says Reynel. Little bit of obstruction, but they are going back for the original penalty because Mapimpi wants his spot back. He has lost it throughout this Rugby World Cup. Cheslin Colby, Kurtley Aronsa, both getting the nod ahead of him. So he feels he needs to prove himself here, but I would think that a couple try assists would go a long way in this game rather than just having goal line fever. We have got nice commentary here with that, says Rhea. And also we have got there just like the Namibian, says Edward, exactly right. And also Hamish Reinach should pass, says Francois. He is another player who sometimes does get a bit excited, but then when you score 3 tries in a game, it is very easy to think that you're invincible and that you're going to be able to keep on going and going and going. Yeah, just a bit of obstruction there from Jaden Hendrickse, which did block the Romanian tackler. Now 22 metres out, Dion Forin, another line out. To get his last one right, I do see that Cretu has made his way onto the field. That is for Gordas, who was on the starting side. Bless those Chilean lads to make sacrifices for their country, says Blues Nate. And also we have got the, okay, we'll not subscribe again, promise, says Stull. Now the rolling ball, joining at the back again, Dion Fori, ready to march their way towards the 5 metre line. And at the moment, it's looking very well set. Romania defending well, though. I think that is actually, who is that? The number 6, Andre Gorin, was going through the middle. That is going to be not quite taken cleanly by Romania. Now the 2 halfbacks for South Africa linking up. Grant Williams has the carry. It is just a knock-on advantage at this point rather than a deliberate knockdown against Romania. Dion Fori, another carry for him, 5 metres out from the try line. Hendrickse, short pass up. Now, once again in behind, Damien Valimza. There might have been a bit of shepherding there, but he's got the ball down, and I think Valimza's got himself his second try. He had to try and avoid his own teammates almost more than the Romanian defence there. But straight down, under the post. Springbok actually want to just take this one quickly by the looks of it. Damien Valimza was going to drop kick that one to keep the game flowing. Time off. I think they're going to check this one for that potential obstruction that I did just mention. Looking at the actions of green 13, that is Kane Moody. A man who we have hardly seen throughout this game, and now it may have been a bit of obstruction that stopped a try. We need more scores, says Michael, and bring it back. Bring it back to where it belongs, says Yonella. He does run behind him, Damien Valimza, but I don't feel that there was enough in it to stop Valvasa. It's a tricky one because he does go through that gap, though. It's only marginal if it is obstruction. It's definitely not the worst obstruction we have seen. But he is in front of the player, and because of that, I believe that that is going to become no try. So they will be going back for the original penalty. But yeah, we saw a similar one to that in the... Was it the Chile game? No, who was the one? It might have actually been Uruguay that had the obstruction one. It sadly won't be a try, says Edward. And I was really a go box, says Delano. It's nice to hear another team booed by the locals, says Fleshen. Now it looks like South Africans may consider just going for the quick tap, or note they are going to kick this one for the corner by the looks of it. And Damien Valimza definitely illegal, says Ian Foster. Yeah, it was just unfortunate timing for Kane Moody that he ran through, didn't receive the pass. Consistency is Keybok. Says Darlene in there as well, and it looks like Hartig's night is going to be over, or his day, sorry. Seeing as it is only an afternoon game, Grant Williams has been bang average, says the Obama of cricket. I don't think he's had the ball enough out on that wing. But to be fair, Kane Moody, he's hardly touched the ball, and you wonder whether or not that is a distribution issue from Reinach and Valimza not getting it out to their backs enough. Mapimpi, he's had 2 solid runs, but only touched the ball twice. Is it the weather, or is it the fact that the players who are on the inside don't want to pass that ball out wide that is causing the problems? And Ireland will be salivating, looking at the box scrum, says Justin, and that is a big scrum there from the box, though, driving the Romanians backwards by about 4 metres. Now Hendrikse, it's a penalty try, and I believe that is going to be Chirika now going. That's actually going to be a penalty try for wheeling the scrum, but not a yellow card by the looks of it. So that is going to be another 7 points. The Springboks do not have to take the kick there. Brilliant work from Oxnashe. Penalty try. There we go. Normally you see a yellow card for that style of thing. Love your commentary. It's the best I've ever heard. Says Style, thank you very much, mate. Usually appreciate it. Is Fuff still on the bench? He is. He did look like he was warming up just near half-time, though. So I would assume that he'll be back out onto the field in the near future for Fuff de Klerk. We have got there just in case this is our B team. Keep that in mind, says Stan. And it's elevating through their eyes, most likely. Says AJ, go to the box, says Daniela. And hey, my mate, how are you? I'm watching your channel from South Africa, Durban, says Glenn. Doing very well, mate. Excited for the 3 games that we have got back-to-back here. Rolling more for the Springboks has once again caused the penalty advantage against the Romanians. Hendrikse going back across to Andre Esterhuizen. And now quick hands from Grant Williams, knock on from Willie LaRue. And they will go back for the original penalty. Come on, Moody. Says Ria. Can I listen in Afrikaans? Unfortunately, I cannot speak Afrikaans. I think Isai BC, someone said that is an option on there, if I'm not wrong. I can't show the game. If he does, the channel will be cancelled, says Gulza. Yeah, sadly, we are unable to show any match footage or audio, but if you guys are new and you are enjoying this commentary style that we do, we also chat all throughout the game with you guys in the comments. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently 18 away from the 33,000. So if you do want to help us get there, we have got 3,000 people on this live stream at the moment, which is absolutely insane. So if you do want to help us out, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Dion Fori now is going to have himself the line out. 45-0 currently for the Springboks. Your channel is the best channel on YouTube, says Clem. Thank you very much. Can you do it in Afrikaans? I only know Bayadunki and a couple other sentences, unfortunately. So I don't quite have my Afrikaans on lock. The way Romania playing is how the TMO wants the game to be played. Good brutal rugby bot. Keep it up, says Audio. Now, Gone. Inside ball. Grant Williams breaking the lines. Yao Leka ding for Grant Williams there for the try score. That's about all the Afrikaans that I know. I'll be honest. That's like my only sentence that I know. But that is going to be the try for Grant Williams. Gets his try that he has been waiting for patiently throughout that game. Grant Williams. Try scorer. There we go. We're going to make sure we don't actually put an E on the end or else it's for Limsa, isn't it? And Nikki has become a channel member. Thank you very much for hitting that button. Grant Williams piercing through the Romanian defence. I get Willie off the park. That's on Let's Go, says AJ2. And Leka Bok there. And great commentary, says Zonard. And listen from the Philippines, says Giddy. And there as well. We have got there, funny brew. Ne means no, says Robin. And also Grant made me eat my words, fair play, says the Obama of cricket. And Yao Leka ding deserves my subscribe, says Chad. That's about, like, that and Bayadunki are the only two Afrikaans sentences that I know. The game is Leka all right, says Ian. Grant Williams pierces around the outside of Nicholas Onutu. Best live commentary on YouTube, says Ria. How you doing? Good with the names, don't worry about it. The most difficult languages in South Africa is Scots and Afrikaans. How you pronouncing them so good, says Pinky. Now making the score 52 points to nil due to the conversion. Going over. And nicely retained for Romania. The ball is in the field of play. Trevor Nakanye does end up cleaning it up. And unfortunately for Romania, they do all the hard work of getting the ball back. But then South Africa first breakdown, able to get that turnover. Faf de Klerk also now on the field. That is for Damien Valimza. So he will slot in as the fly half. Simeon Sku now moving up to halfway. He had a very good first half, I felt. The Romanian fullback. But as the bench of the Springboks keeps on making their way onto the field, that seems to be when the Romanians are starting to tire that little bit more. RG Snyman, perfect turnover in the breakdown. Just waited patiently for that ball to pop so that he was able to get it. Your sleep schedule must be so messed up, says Rice. Yeah, it's currently 2:21 a.m. here in New Zealand, but my time that I've been sleeping has been during the day so that I have been able to keep a Northern Hemisphere time zone for a majority of these weekend live streams. So yeah, going to bed at like 4 p.m. New Zealand time, waking up at around 11 p.m. Nicely bounced back onto the side of Romania. Simeon Sku taken out low by Jaden Hendrickse. Still with 23 minutes to go. South Africans eyeing up their 84 points. Like I predicted. Hopefully it's close. Now it's going to be nicely passed out wide though for the Romanians. Nice run from the captain, Chirika there. Retaining the ball, Rupanu. Now going back across, it will be the replacement Luciad prop. Rush defence from Oxtachan up very early. So far, 87 tackles made by both of these sides. We have got another donation from Stan. Thank you very much. And yeah, Afrikaans is getting better. By the end of the World Cup, you'll be able to speak basic Afrikaans. Says Caitlin. Although I think I've just used my one line that I have of Yao Leka ding for that Grant Williams try. I have to bring it back out in the World Cup final, won't I? Now, Rupanu. Going back across again. Short pop pass. Two props working together. Rupanu again goes off to Valvasa. Big contact onto him. I think Romania have almost emptied their bench looking at the amount of numbers that are out there. Good work from Quaha Smith. Gets the clean turnover. So now the Springboks being able to pick that ball up. It's popped out the back. Push back to Vili LaRue. Goes out to Kaina Moody. This is his first run of the day, Kaina Moody. He sells the dummy. Manu Mua trying to catch up with him. And he sells it again. Kaina Moody selfishly hung on to that ball for a bit too long. And Vili LaRue knocks it on. Going back. This Springbok backline, I'll be honest, we've seen some individualistic plays. Is that a word? It sounds like one. But we're seeing a backline of individuals rather than a team at the moment. We saw it from Kobus Reinach. We saw it from Damien Valimza. We're seeing it now from Kanan Moody. Rather than just passing with the easy draw and pass, getting the man on his inside to the try line. He tried to be fancy, tried to go himself, and it's cost the Springboks another try. And thanks to your Fuff, which made it possible for your sleep during the day. Says it was Penelope. And also thanks, at least I get to hear the commentary. Well done and thank you, says Merely. And also Greedy says blindside, exactly right. And Vili LaRue, he's going, did you not see Faf de Klerk? Kits off now, making his way onto the field for Oxnachet. You mean selfish play? Yeah, rather than individualistic. That was a bit too big of a word for my brain. at this hour of the night. If you say lekker, you cover almost everything that is good, beautiful, and nice. Says Aleda. Mbokiao lekker ding, says Kobus. And it also looks like Trevor Nakanya, the man who made his way into the starting lineup, is now going to have the chance to have a bit of a rest while Franz Mahava makes his way out. They want to try his individual, so much pressure, says Goldberg. But the thing is, I don't know whether or not it's the fact that this is how I used to play any sport that I've been a part of. The guy who gets the assist normally gets just as much praise as the try scorer. And in the coach's eyes, you want a guy who's going to be assisting a lot of tries rather than blowing opportunities trying to get it for yourself. The man in the suit saying someone's trying to be fancy, says Caitlin. Yeah. Although the individualistic, I still don't know if that's actually a word. I feel like it's a close to a word anyway. And get LaRue off the field, says Stephen. Yeah, he's had quite a few handling errors in that case. Although I feel like, yes, he dropped that, but the blame needs to go to Moody there for not passing it to Faf de Klerk for the easy try first. Yeah, Afrikaans is good, says Aria. And also, why is the scoreboard not updating? It's 52 to love. Says it was there from Jeffrey. I think the score or the time is just updated, hasn't it? I think Caitlin likes you, bro, says KB in there as well. She is part of our 1% female audience. And that has grown, actually, fun fact. I think it was like 1.2 the last time I checked. And Billy, I stopped eating those oily snacks before you start playing your fingers are slippery, says Natasha. And also, yeah, a bit of selfishness there. How many minutes are left, says LDO. At the moment, we have still got 21 minutes remaining on the clock. We have got there, can we get to 100? I honestly think with the way that the Springboks have played in this game, with the amount of times that they have blown opportunities to get tries, I think that they won't quite get there. Yeah, I want to know Sexton's assist stats compared to these to his tries. Hamish says audio, exactly right. I am a female, says Lynette. And also we have got there, what's the correct score? So the correct score is 52 points to nil with 21 minutes remaining at the moment on the clock. Don't hurt them, Springboks, says Lols. And South Africa in there as well from Anandepa. But that will be a free kick now for the Boks at scrum time. Hey, I'm also a female, says Seno. And I'm a girl, says Yvonne. So yeah, we've grown our female audience, which is actually pretty awesome. Because at the start of this channel, I think we had 5 female viewers or something along those lines, and about 1,000 men. But now we're getting closer, and we actually cover quite a bit of female rugby on the channel as well. We did the Women's World Cup, and we are hoping to do some of the Women's XV that is coming up in the near future. So happy for the Boks in winning. Only a rugby fan in my area, and also females unite, says Caitlin there. And wearing the suit on top, boxes at the bottom, Amish. Not quite. I got track pants on though, so a bit casual down the bottom, business up top. And then a mess at the very top with my haircut. And now Andre stays in, breaking the line again for the Boks. Now 10 metres out from the try line. Jaden Hendrickse goes across now to Faf de Klerk. Does decide to pierce at the line rather than passing out wide. Hendrickse, I think that ball was knocked out of his hands. That might be a knock-on from Frans Malherbe as well. And the referee does go back now for the scrum. Oh yeah, I like it like that. Never felt so good. You go Bok, says Florence. And hi guys, says Nikki in the chat as well. Our newest channel member, Nikki. And another female fan here says Bundari. And I'm female as well, says Yonella. And I'm a female from South Africa, says Nosy Belly. In the chat as well. And here come the ladies, says Fleshin. Now, 19 minutes remaining. It will be another scrum for the Springboks. I'm also here. Girls taking over, says Danny Rice. Or Darren I believe it is. And also we've got their females. Says, I think we've actually got a huge amount of female viewers today, which is absolutely awesome. Because I always talk about it. We've had people from all around the world on the live streams, and it's just insane to think that so many countries we have been able to cross off in terms of having viewers from there. Like countries that we wouldn't have even thought we'd have a viewer from, we have had. You ignited all the ladies, brother, says Sebastian. Does Romania know this is the Rugby World Cup? They certainly do, and I think that in this game, they have actually played pretty decently. Yes, 52-0. People will look at that scoreline and go one-sided affair, but the Springboks will look at this game and go, there were many times that we could have got ourselves over the try line, but our players wanting to, I guess, increase their own. Oh, Williams through again. And that will be the try. Unselfishness from Faf de Klerk to be able to put that ball over the try line for Williams. That is now going to be the times two. That is the second halfback to be able to get himself a double in this game and the third South African player. We have got the I'm a female, says Simone. And also hope South Africa wins, says Jackson. And also female rugby fans in the millions in South Africa, says Stahl. And nice man Grant Williams, says Harold Dean. So yeah, nice ball on the inside to Grant Williams from Fluff de Klerk. Straight run up the middle. And Foster, thank you on behalf of all South African ladies, says Zakona. And South African in Lesotho for the weekend, says Bradley. And crazy, such good content, says Robin there. Now, Fluff de Klerk, he will have the kicking teeth. That is due to Damien Valimza being taken off the field. It is a straight swap between those two. Now, 57 points. This should go over from de Klerk, and he does get it down the middle. 59. What? That's unique. 59 points to nil, ladies and gentlemen. The online scoreboard has decided it wants to throw it. There we go. It's worked it out. Put it on to the other side. I doubt we'll get to 70 with the selfish play, says Sino. Be nice to the ladies, guys. Stop swear words, says Kurt. And also listening in Toronto today and loving your commentary, says Peter. Your hair looks great, Fuff, says Natasha there. But 59 points to nil currently for the South Africans. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We are now on the road to 34,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us get there, it is greatly appreciated. We are here for every single live stream of this Rugby World Cup. A South African woman in the house, says Darlene. Now it's going to be kicked high. Not taken cleanly for Romania, but bounce back onto their side. Simeon Skoo stays in the field of play. It's risky, though, being so close to the touchline, so he does cut inwards nicely. Jaden Hendrickse looking for the clean turnover here, and he has ended up with the possession, although Romania trying to get it straight back afterwards. Now Fluff de Klerk with the flowing locks of hair. Going out wide to Andre Estes and Billy LaRue. Skip pass out to Makazole Mapimpi. Who wants to bet $10? He ain't passing. Going forward. He's got Billy LaRue on the inside, but he'll go to the corner. Makazole Mapimpi to score his second try of the contest. Now that's 4 South Africans who have got themselves the double. We called it from the get-go. He would never pass in that ball. There we go. Another try for Makazole Mapimpi. Let's get to 34k, says James. Subscribe to get some first-class commentary for the next South African game. Says Colour in My Rainbow. And we have also got 2 more games just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be England versus Japan. That is the second match. And the first game that has taken place, Australia versus Fiji. Makazole should have passed to Vili for an easier conversion. Yeah, I don't think he was thinking about that, though, was he? And also Mapimpi. And also we have got there, where's everyone watching from? I'm from Malmesbury. 70 kilometres from Cape Town. And this is really a shame match, says Mike. And last quarter, here we go. I'm looking forward to the Fiji win in Australia, says Just. And Mapimpi, I see you, says Nandi. Now, Fluff de Klerk, left boot. Of course, going to be what one he opts for taking these conversions. And no dents or scratches here for Andy Farrell, says Blues Nate. And Fluff de Klerk, he has missed that one just away to the right-hand side. Almost came back inwards. And Valimza's second try was disallowed, says Johan. That is true, isn't it? I should probably take that off Valimza. One moment. There we go. We'll get rid of his little extra one. Being too generous, wasn't I? So now that's the third double up. And Port Elizabeth, Eastern Cape, says James there. And South Africa 64, Romania 0, says Shana. So yeah, they are starting to build towards that scoreline that I did predict, which was 84 points to 3. I think that Romania they're gonna have to do something big in the last moments if they want to slow them down enough to stop them from getting to that point. But now nice run forward from the Romanian inside centre. This game it is Taylor, Guntiniak, now Rupano. Cross replacement, Lucia Prop having another carry. Actually tackled by replacement Lucia Prop in that scenario. Stephen Kitsoff. Looks like there might be an injury for Guntiniak for the Romanians. And that is another penalty to South Africa in the breakdown. Your come try is the best. That is an interesting statement. And another donation from Stan. And there as well, watching from Argentina. And this Bok Oosh. And I'm a female, go Bok. Says Fatima. And also we have there Georgetown and the Cayman Islands. And there as well. The tackles missed 31 for Romania. That has been hurting them throughout this game. Don't forget to subscribe and like the Kiwi lads. Says Ian Foster. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on 33,050. as well, which is absolutely massive. But let's see how high we can get by the end of this live stream. You will get notified when we do upload on the channel, which is plenty. The scoreboard displayed is behind it is, isn't it? Doesn't want to give that last try to Mapimpi, and it is still updating the time. It does seem, and what a champ support on this channel, says Caitlin. And there's Owen Stan is on fire with the donations. He certainly is. It almost seems to be every time that South Africa cross the try line at the moment. Stan is very generously donating. Now Jaden Hendricks are close to the touchline. Off the rolling maul. De Klerk, 40 metres out. Vili LaRue has the option on the outside. Goes to Makazole Mapimpi. And it will be the try. See, credit to Vili LaRue there. Because I can tell you right now, if those roles were reversed, Mapimpi would have tried to go through that gap and possibly not scored the try. So that assist, huge credit to Vili LaRue, but that is the second hat-trick of the game, and it is for Makazole Mapimpi out on the wing. Romania is playing with fire, and also we have got there, damn Amish says audio, and backing is now on fire, says Jeffrey, and Vili is horrible. No, he needs a lot of credit for that try, managing to set it up nicely for Makazole Mapimpi. Had the opportunity, he was looking at the line, and then he went, nah, I'm passing this one. Anyone know the current score? The scoreboard, I think the Springboks have been scoring too quickly and it's broken up, but the real score is 69-0 at the moment. We have I'm enjoying the way you do your commentary, says Dazel. And Willie was scored or scared he was going to knock it on, so he passed, says KB. And keep up the greatness, Bok. Now Fuff de Klerk lining up the kick again. Did miss his last one, but this would give them 71 points on the board if it goes over. Hamish, I would love to donate and also become a YouTube member. But I have to wait to cash in my lotto check, says Denzel. There's no worries at all. I always say that donations are hugely appreciated on the channel, but the goal of the channel was always to provide the commentary for you guys who aren't able to watch the games so that you have some sort of free option, as well as being able to talk about the game while they are taking place. This is just a practice round for the Bok, says Rodette, but the kick has gone over from Fuff de Klerk. So the score now is 71 points to nil. Your hair looks so fine, Fuff, says Natasha. And also so much better that the rain has stopped, says John. And bring on Fiji versus Australia. Yeah, it's going to be an entertaining game when it does take place. We are covering that one on the channel as well. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Jaden Hendrickse now rolling the ball back here for the Springboks into the 22. Kicked up high. Nicely taken at the back. I believe that was the replacement, number 23. I don't actually know. I think he came on the field for Gontanek. That's come off Grant Williams. So it is now going to be a line out for the Romanians. Amy says, I told, try every donation. Says Stan in there as well. And Fuff is cute, says Shana. And go the Bok, go. When is Fiji versus Australia starting? It is starting in just over an hour's time. 1 hour, 8 minutes. So 3:45 a.m. New Zealand time. Stan has donated once more. Thank you very much, mate. You're certainly a man of your word in this case. And there have been a lot of tries throughout this game by the South Africans. Manamua, one of his first runs for Romania. He's been out on the right wing. They did make that switch from him and Nutu, deciding to make them on the opposite wings for this week. Bit of a leg drive here for Romania. 40 metres, and it's another penalty against Romania, this time for leaving their feet in the breakdown. Romania is a country that never seems to improve in rugby, says Ric Flair. I think South Africa can get 76 points, says Rhea. And also we have got there, now this is just sad, says Playson. And also how many minutes left to finish. There is still another 10 minutes. The kick does not find touch from the South Africans. And Romania putting a big boot back downfield. We have got there, you chose a hell of a game to donate field tries, says Caitlin. That is very true. We're getting close to the most tries scored in an individual game. I think the only other game that's had more is Ireland versus Romania at this point. I almost just lost my voice. That would have been very unfortunate. As we still have about 5 hours of commentary remaining today, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button like I mentioned, on the road to 34,000. Jaden Hendrickse now passing off to the left-hand side. Andre stays and gives it off to Fuff de Klerk inside ball to Grant Williams. Now he has already got himself the 2 tries. He will also be chasing that hat trick. Now going off to the right-hand side, Jean Klein pops the ball out the back. RG Snyman gets the offload away to Mako van Staden, who offloads it to Kwaka Smith. Tries to break through, but it is tackled by the replacement Romanian lock. Partially charged down. Jaden Hendrickse's kick Good challenge in the air, not taking it cleanly. Grant Williams asking for a penalty for something. I think he got a butt to the face. Oh, kits off down the wing. The spicy plum maybe tackled a little bit high. But Hendrickson on the short side for the corner. He's gone into touch and just hasn't quite gone over the try line. I think they'll go upstairs though just to check this, see whether or not there was a high shot on kits off and also whether or not maybe Hendrickson was tackled slightly high. We have got a donation from Jane Swim in there as well. Thank you very much for hitting that donation button. Hugely appreciated. Time is off. There is a Romanian player down and Matthew Reynal, the French referee, has a lot to look through in just that short play. Right, 8 minutes remaining on the clock. The crowd are starting to get fired up as well. They are loving the action that they have seen up till this point. Australia are more into AFL and League, says Ric Flair. And also we have got there, this game is on the loudspeaker. OMG, says Nundy. And come on the box and Kitsoff, the biggest winger in world rugby. Yeah, beautifully done by Stephen Kitsoff. And yep, that's a high shot from Simeon Skoo. Oh, they've said play on. Didn't he hit him in the chin? I would have thought it was a high shot, but never mind. It is play on. Romania putting themselves under all sorts of pressure. Now Valvas has no option but to kick that ball downfield due to being inside of his in-goal area. Grant Williams goes back across to Villy LaRue. Great slinging pass out to Makazole Mapimpi, who passes. Kanan Moody now going for the grubber in behind. Beautifully picked up by Romania. And now 22 meters out from the line now. Romania back into the pocket. And it has gone into touch. No cards. Yes, there's Goldberg. Yeah, is this? Oh, that's a question. Is this the first game of the Rugby World Cup that we haven't had a single card in, ladies and gentlemen? Or have we had another game that's been like that? I know that the last few games that we've seen have had a huge amount of cards. It depends on what your state or what state you're in. Sears Blues, Nate. Thank you very much, Caitlin, once again for the super sticker. The picture there as well. A moment, my chat is flying by. It is the popcorn as well, I do see. And also from the earlier one, it was the plum, I think it was, which may have been a bit of a prelim. Oh, it's Villy LaRue, who's just broken straight through the Romanian defence. He scores his first try of the contest now, the road to 100 plus. We have also got the Aleka Boy and also Sharon has donated. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciate it. You guys are very generous with your South African rands today. Villy LaRue, his first try of the contest, adding to a very long try scorers list that we have now got for this match. But goes himself. The gap was wide open, though. He could have gone to Williams on the outside, but they had him covered. So instead, Villy LaRue cut up the middle. Amish, you look reminding us, old professional on top. But actually in your PJs, says Denzel, and fire donation, guys. And South Africa will win the World Cup, says Evo 12 Jr. in there as well. And is he been okay? He is. He is going to be back for the next game for the South Africans, so he will be one to watch out for in that game up against Ireland. Has Pollard been called into the squad? I've heard that it's not quite, but he's pretty much confirmed as that guy that's coming in, unless there's a massive plot twist at the end that they do actually go with someone else. The Clerk, 41 metres now for this kick. That will leave 5 minutes remaining on the clock as well, I should mention. Now, in the game between between Romania. Oh, that's at the post for Fab de Klerk. Hasn't quite got it over. South Africa, they are now 6 points short of what Ireland were able to score up against the Romanians. But the Irish did concede a try. So I think it's going to be a very even encounter when we do see South Africa and Ireland go head-to-head next week. It's going to be an absolutely awesome one. We will be live on the channel covering that game as well, ladies and gentlemen. So be sure, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already converted. It's mush, but it means a lot to a South African, says Goldberg. In there as well, I love my country, says Langisa. And next Springbok game, we're SP, says Stormy. Kicked long now. South Africa inside of their 22. Eben is injured, says Strish, although he has been cleared as okay to play in that Ireland game. He did have the shoulder injury, but now it is going to be better for that next matchup. It's whether or not they decide to play him, though, is the big question. Another slaughter by our box. Good game, Reinach. Thanks, Amish. Great commentary. Says it was there from Gale. And 3 more go the box, says Alana. Subscribe for the 33k. We almost there, lads. Do it, says Mikhail. Yeah, anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's hugely appreciated. You guys all being here for this live stream. But now, line out throw for the Romanians. claimed as well on the halfway line. I believe both sides have completely emptied their benches. Stan has once again donated. Thank you very much, mate. I love the commentary. And have mercy on Romania. That's going to be going back now for the original penalty. We've seen over 1,000 metres made in the running department for the South Africans compared to 411 for Romania, which is actually a pretty decent amount, to be fair. You'd see some sides winning games and not making the 400 metres. Will you be wearing a green suit? The South Africa Island game says Dennis, I will not. Reason behind it is I've got a green screen, so if I have a green suit on, I will be invisible. So yeah, we'll probably just have the black suit on. But that one, respect to Romania, says Boris. And Big Stan says Ian Boster, I'm only watching for Fuff. Says Megan, an awesome commentator, says Big Fish Hugo. Thank you very much, mate. What's your prediction for the Island Box match, says Siren? I think I said that the Box would sneak it. But that one, we've got another donation from Swim Jane Swim. Thank you very much. Romania, the miscommunication, but I think it's actually worked out for them. They did go to the front rather than the middle, perhaps even a set play. It's a dirty New Zealand guy, says Luke. I had a shower like 5 hours ago. I feel like I shouldn't be too dirty by now, surely. It'll be nice and clean for the suit, of course. Now, 30 metres out from the line. Out to the right-hand side for the Romanians. Another drop ball. Sits back up. Andre stays and goes off to Kane and Moody. Skip past Maka Zolima Pimpy. Getting driven close to the touchline, but Vili Leroux has to join the breakdown. That should be Romania's penalty there, but they haven't been awarded it. Now, Marco van Staden, he's had a big shift today, having to play the full 80 minutes in this game. Fafta Clerk, sniping run, almost going through the gap. We've got a donation from Vanessa May as well. Thank you very much. Well done, the Box, says Nandi. And also we have got there, there'll be a big game, Ireland versus South Africa, says Gerhard, and we are going to be covering it on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. It's probably the biggest game around 3 by far, I would say. How much time left, says Just. At the moment, 2 minutes remaining. And the score has not updated. There we go. Cannot donate for this game. I can't not donate for this game and the incredible commentary, says Caitlin there. And let's be careful not to get too confident. Strange things happen in the world of rugby. And what type of headphones you got? I think they're just Audio Technica, I think. I don't actually know. I think they got their little A on the side. So yeah, I think they're Audio Technica. What are you, says Bernard. That is a great question. What are we all, Bernard, is the better question. All little dots on this globe. Get all deep at the end of the live stream. Thanks again, Hamish. See you on the next one, says Peter. And I was really a Box did it. Our late Prince Butalezi, says Trisha. But for real, Hamish, what shorts you got on, brother? No, I got pants on. They're a little bit longer. They're quite cozy, to be honest, but ideal for a late night game. Currently 1 minute remaining on the clock. We are all rugby fans. I'm really sorry for Romania, says Amanius. Although less points conceded than they did up against the Irish, so Romania will consider that as a little bit of an improvement. Specks of Dust, Fairy Dust, says Precious. And also, so I can work and listen to rugby thanks to you. Good job, says Lucy DePere. No worries at all. And we are going to be here for the next 2 live streams, which is Australia versus Fiji. And alongside that, we have got Japan versus England to close out the night. They made Mapimpi man of the match for his story. Says Chan, at least Romania will receive a handshake from South Africa, said Megan. And great going, Hamish. Most appreciate the commentary. Catch you next time. Says James, although we do still have one more scrum, 15 seconds remaining on the clock, ladies and gents. You go back all the way, says Desmarin. The question is, they will go for one more try. They'll know what the score was in the game between Ireland and Romania. They'll want that last minute chance. What's your grasp on the English game? I think it could be quite close between the two sides. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how it goes. I want to watch the game. The highlights will be up on YouTube straight after the match is finished. That is going to be a quick tap taken by Jaden Hendrickson now. Out to the right-hand side, Andre Estes and knocks the ball on. And now, if there is a stoppage, he's given it straight back. The referee was going to keep on playing. He wanted the match to continue. We got another donation from Gail. Thank you very much. Hugely appreciate it. And that is the end of the game, ladies and gentlemen. The Springboks, in their first 2 matches of the Rugby World Cup, have left their opposition tryless. Will that be a trend that continues in their next game up against Ireland? We will, of course, have to wait and see. We have got their donation from Colour in My Rainbow as well with the super sticker. Thank you very much. Well done, South Africa, says Mikhail. Their trousers not pants, says Fleshin. And also we have got their Happy Chappy Bok. Oh, yeah, some people around the world, pants is like underwear, isn't it? So, yeah, maybe I should say trousers, or else people will think that I am literally sitting in my Fuff de Klerk budgie smugglers. They said, why did you make him a man of the match? And the answer was because of his story. And also we have got there, to you, Hamish, not only for outstanding commentary, but also for how you handle all the comments, says Jane. Yeah, it is always my goal to read out as many comments as I can. Sometimes they go very quick and we don't get a chance to read every single message, but I do try my best to read as many as physically possible. And thanks for your hard work, buddy. Always loving your match commentary, says Stephen there. And thank you, says Tatiana. And tries for me, tries for you, tries for them, tries for everyone, except Romania in this game. Unfortunately, not able to cross the try line this time in their game, but they have still got themselves the one try in this Rugby World Cup of Rapanu. And they'll be looking to improve in the next contest where they do play Scotland. We have got, do we play at home or away? So this was considered as a home game for the Springboks. But normally it's the home side that do wear their away strip, but because the colours overlap with Romania's, that is why the Springboks were in their classic green and gold for this match. And thank you, Amy. Superb commentary, says Delana. Thank you very much. The Kiwi lad is smiling all the way to the bank today, says Justin. Well, I mentioned any money that we get on these donations or on these live streams goes straight back into the channel. So, of course, we'll have to try and get something going for the near future. That's why I'm Go Bok. Says Jody, and tries for me, tries for you. And thanks, Amy. Says Shana, and congrats, guys. Says Marianne, and also Bok need 23 more to be number one, but we second. Says Andre, we are opening the champagne. Well done, Bok. And thanks for the commentary, Hamish. Legendary, says Timothy. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated every single one of you for being here throughout this game. There are plenty of statistics to look through at for this contest, but I think the big one for the Springboks having over 1,000 running meters made throughout the contest, also managing to beat 34 defenders throughout the 80 minutes. We saw quite a few try scorers. Reinhardt got a hat-trick. Mapimpi also got himself the hat-trick. And then Valimza, Fori, a penalty try. Grant Williams got himself two. And Vili LaRue, the last try scorer of the contest. Great commentary, says Nazia. And see you later. You're very good, says Stull. So the next game that we are covering on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be Australia versus Fiji. Will be an absolutely awesome game to watch. And could be very close as well. That is the one that most people feel could be the upset game of the weekend. Thanks so much. You're doing great stuff, says Dennis. And also we have got there, I like the fact that both Fori and Van Staden got some experience on hooker today. Says Ricky, and get your guitar, play us something. It is a little bit far away. If it was closer, I would have played something. I could have played the South African national anthem for you, but we will do it in the future. It said this is the first day, game a team failed to score. Says cited. I think so. I think this is the first game that we've had someone sitting on nil, isn't it? Because we have seen teams get 3 points before in games, the likes of Scotland and whatnot, but we haven't seen a side with a 0 next to their name as of yet. So this will be the first one that we do end up seeing. Go Fiji from South Africa, says Jack. And also we have got there Fiji going to win with 4 points, says Just De Beer. And also Go Fiji, says Lyle in the chat as well. But yeah, thank you all very much for being here for this live stream. Like I mentioned, Fiji versus Australia is just around the corner. It's going to be an absolutely awesome one, and highly recommend joining us for this game. We may get live viewing one day. The best commentator in this Rugby World Cup, respectful, says Vanessa May. The best commentary by far, says Young Beast. I am my brother Butch, listening from Canada, and an ex-pupil of mine, Cicelo, listening from South Africa. And if South Africa wins, we need to hear the national anthem on guitar. We'll tell you what, I will have to practice it, because at the moment it looks like a relatively decent chance that the South Africans going far in this Rugby World Cup. Next time, Amish will hold you to it. And also we are good there. Thank you, Mr. Commentator. Go the box, says Dallas. When is the next game, says Stulberger. So the next game is actually just around the corner. It is kicking off in less than an hour's time, but we are starting our commentary on that live stream in about 20 or so minutes time. Or in fact, sorry, that might be a lie. No, it's not. It is the time. 20 minutes time when we are starting that next live stream, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, if you are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But we will have a post-match review of this game coming out a little bit later on, probably after that Fiji versus Australia game, where we do get time to film it and look a little bit more in depth about the stats for this matchup. We might just about have time to film it before that next stream as well. But yeah, thank you all very much for being here. It's been an absolutely incredible live stream being able to chat to all you guys again. You're actually a really good commentator. Thank you so much. Says Landy Bear. And thank you very much indeed as well. But anyone who is new, hit that subscribe button. Be sure to get those notifications on so you know exactly when the World Cup games are taking place. We are doing every single match on the channel. So yeah, if you are new, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all for the next one.